Postmates.
PKA, episode 46, with our guest Derek from More Plates, More Dates. Kyle?
Couple of sponsors tonight, Bluechew, Smart Mouth, and Postmates. But yeah, we got Derek on the show with us. Expert on all things gear related. This is gonna be a fun show. We have tons of questions. What do you buy? I think all three of us have been watching a good bit of your content. It's really entertaining stuff. So yeah,
it's giving me body dysmorphia.
Yes. Oh my god, dude.
Well,
it's so fat.
If you could do me a favor,
I saw your clip where you were like, "It'd be an honor for More Plates, More Dates to call me fat."
Yeah.
I was fucking dying, dude.
Well, it's only a matter of time. Everything from here down, just really, this is my good range. Above here, fucking trash. Absolute garbage.
I've been getting compliments on like body progress, and it's like, yes, you fools see me from like. You judge my body from the top of my chest to my collarbone.
Do you have a home gym, or how are you training now? Or are you training?
I have a home gym, and I've taken to calisthenics. Something about them, the progress I make is more rewarding to me. Like if you were to tell me how much you bench, I don't really have a good vibe for how much that is, and that becomes even more true when you move to like squats or Romanian deadlifts or whatever. Like those numbers don't mean much. But if I said I did 60 pull-ups last night, a lot of people are like, "Oh,
that's a lot of fucking pull-ups."
Right? Yeah. And something about that I find rewarding. By the way, I don't do them in a row. Don't let me lie to you. But I live stream and I do pull-ups and push-ups when I suck. And some nights that's a lot of exercise.
Yeah.
That's how
I would say that's arguably a better gauge of like athleticism anyways, like body weight shit. Because most bodybuilders, they're like jacked as fuck, but put them on a pull-up bar, they can do like 10 pull-ups.
But they look sick walking around.
Yes.
I saw a clip from World's Strongest Man. I saw a clip from World's Strongest Man the other day, and like whatever, the winner was trying to hug the second place guy, and it looked like two turtles trying to hug each other. Like, let's rub our torsos, bro. Yeah. Oh.
It might be gay, but I kind of want to experience that. I want a hug from one of those dudes.
Nah.
Maybe you're right.
It'd be emasculating. You'd be like, God, I'm a bitch.
What
if that big guy gives you a squeeze and he gives your ass cheek a nice big grab while he's hugging you? What, you can't say anything. You have to go, oh, the mountain you tease. And then walk away.
My friend's dad, he was this enormous guy from Yugoslavia. That's what it was at the time.
Of course.
And what is that disease where you have like too much naturally producing HGH in your hand?
Acromegaly, I think.
Yeah. He had that. Yeah. And his hands were like hands you just don't see on normal people. And his voice was like Andre the Giant's. And it just every time you were with him, I'm like growing up, I'm becoming a man. And it's like, I don't think I'll ever become this. This is something else. This is and just fun fact, my friend had cystic fibrosis, so his dad had to like beat on his back to break up the mucus and stuff in his lungs. Fact. And what an enjoyable fact. And it was just the perfect dad for it, because he had these gigantic mitts of clubs that would just pound on his back and help him feel better.
Until his son was a nice puddle on the
bed.
Yeah. I've always thought, like, man, if I'm going to get some disease, becoming big and strong without having to work for it has got to be a pretty good disease. But then you look at those faces that you grow, and you can't use smartphones anymore because of your sausage hands. Not a good disease. And it makes your heart like 3 times as large, which is actually bad for you.
It's like a misconception that disease, like everyone thinks growth hormone is just you inject as much as you want, you get super jacked. But in reality, when you look at like Andre the Giant, they're big humans, but they're not really like muscular in terms of development wise, you know what I mean? So it's like a totally different mechanism. So they grow like these fucked up extremities, their noses get massive, ears get huge like protruding facial features and stuff, but they
look more like Shrek than He-Man.
Yeah. So
that's fair.
Think of like a traditional caveman or whatever, and that's essentially what they develop into. But it's not like, it's not like a good thing. Some people think, oh, more GH the better. It's like, that would be like, honestly, like that's not a good thing in almost any aspect, even if you were to, consider it from a bodybuilding perspective.
GH is for preventing like joint damage, right? Isn't that the thing that why people pair steroids and GH? Am I right on that?
Typically it's like It's largely what regulates fat loss. Like it's a very, you
Hmm.
know, people think you're going to get shredded when you use it, and it does help to some extent, but it's more so, it's sort of like a balancing act. I'm trying to get not too sciencey because I come off so pretentious when I talk about this shit
Go for
sometimes.
it, man.
But but yeah, it's like a lot of it has to do with like joints integrity, tendons, ligaments, stuff like that. But that's why when you use way too much of it too, you end up with like an over abundance of, you know, like pointy ass elbows and like fucked up, you know, extremities and stuff like that.
Huh.
Do you take growth hormone?
No, I don't.
Have you
I
ever?
have though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should have laid it. What I would describe the premise of your channel is a series of scientific experiments on gear and SARMs and that whole class of things on you. So you'll try it for, I'm making up timelines, like a number of weeks or months, and say, this is what this SARM did to me. This is what I took. This is how long I took it, and this is how I felt about it.
Another little fact finding thing for people watching. Can you kind of go through the, I guess, vocabulary, like SARMs, the different kinds of steroids? Like, I don't know anything. I know, like, from watching your videos, like finasteride or something like that. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of different kinds. just so people can kind of get it.
Okay, so like in general, the breakdown of different like classes of compounds is like anabolic steroids, which is like all the shit you've probably heard of, like D-bol, testosterone, DECA, that kind of stuff, trenbolone. That's all anabolic steroids, and that's largely what's going to dictate muscle growth. Like that's like the base of everything to do with muscle essentially in your body. Like 90% of it is driven by, and that's just a rough estimate. That's obviously not, you know, the main thing is like your testosterone in your body is, it's technically in a dictionary, it's a androgen, but all the anabolic steroids that people use for muscle growth are derived from that testosterone molecule. So those things that you hear of, the trenbolone, the DECA, the whatever, those are all in the anabolic steroid class. As far as what SARMs are, typically I wouldn't even tell somebody it's worth exploring until they understand the first thing. I actually did a video recently called the anabolic steroid family tree, and for anyone who wants like a very newbie breakdown of each steroid, because even within that category there's like different types of categories, and it gets really complicated, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people when they watch my shit, they're like, what is this guy even fucking talking about? You know, like you don't know where to start. This thing provides a framework of like, okay, here's like the parent molecule, testosterone. Here's this class of compound, this class, and this class. They each have this type of impact on athletic performance. They might be leveraged in this sport versus this sport versus this sport. They might be used for this goal versus this goal. You know what I mean? And then, so those are like the steroids. SARMs is kind of like something that was supposed to replace steroids, because if a girl or a kid uses a steroid in like a medical setting, so let's say some kid or some woman has muscle wasting or something, instead of injecting them with a steroid, which in the past we've seen, you know, makes them, you know, get masculinizing side effects, which is obviously not a good outcome for some little fucking kid who hasn't even hit puberty yet to be jabbing him with testosterone or whatever, or some chick. So SARMs are meant to like replace the muscle building capacity of a steroid without making them like a man, pretty much.
Tell me how close I'm coming. I'm sorry, Kyle. I know you're biting at the bit too, and you're chomping at the bit.
Chomping at it.
Yeah. So they're androgen receptors, and those are all kinds of different things that react to testosterone, maybe growing a mustache, muscles, etc. And then SARMs are specific androgen receptors. That's the S. And ideally, if things work perfectly, SARMs are like steroids that only impact muscles. Am I close?
Yeah, like the chemical structure of them, you can't really define them as a steroid because they're not technically derived from that like testosterone molecule, but they're like a synthetic drug, whereas testosterone's actually like something you produce.
The S is specific, right? Specific androgen receptor molecule. Did I get it?
Yeah, so basically how you would build muscle, like at the most basic level, is you have androgen receptors in your muscles, in your everywhere in your body. And for the steroid to work, it needs to bind to the androgen receptor and transcribe its effects in the tissue. So that's why you would have a certain steroid, you know, has a certain affinity to bind to muscle, here, or affinity to bind to your prostate, or affinity to bind to somewhere, and how, you know, the characterization of what it does depends on the chemical, the affinity to bind, its level of how much it's going to masculinize you. Like there's like a whole sub layer of shit underneath that. But basically, the target of all of them is essentially the androgen receptor, whereby they build the muscle essentially and, like, you know, maintain bone and all this kind of stuff. But there's like off target activity, which is like next level shit, not even worth elaborating on, where you have like stuff that prevents muscle wasting, like by hitting glucocorticoid receptors, which prevents cortisol from transcribing its effects, because cortisol is anti, you know, catabolic and whatnot. Like there's a whole another section of that, but at a base level, yeah, like the androgen receptor is basically what essentially facilitates if a steroid is even, because you could have a steroid floating around that's not really doing shit if it's not binding to the receptor first and then doing its thing. So
Kyle, did you still want to get in?
Yeah, so you've got the series of videos where you you look at various Hollywood actors and you see the body transformations they go through.
yeah,
And I would like to see, maybe, because this is something we discuss on the show a lot. Woody and I are big MMA fans, UFC specifically, and there are a few female athletes that we look at and we're like,
They're very ugly.
bullshit, bullshit. Like Chris Cyborg, 100%. I mean, she's tested positive for I don't know what it was. Maybe it was Clomid. It was it was something you take in conjunction with steroids or
I
something.
think she's
like
tested positive twice for things. And
the
there's
thing that's sorry to cut you off, but basically the thing that's really obvious about the UFC and like their testing parameters is it's always the thing that you would use to recover after a cycle that they get popped for. It's never the hormone they're using, and if it is, it's always like some weird like downstream metabolite that they basically fucked up and didn't get out of their system in time. So it's like, to me, it's always a really obvious red flag. Like, why would you be using Clomid? You know what I mean? Like, there's no performance enhancing advantage to having Clomid in your system. And the only logical conclusion as to why you would have it in your system and why all these fighters have it is you just did something and now you're trying to recover.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but I would like you to look at some of these ladies' bodies.
the Chinese champion comes to mind.
Wei Li, yeah. I don't trust people from that part of the world very much anyway with their bodies. I feel like the Chinese and the Russians in particular have gotten caught cheating in one way or another so many times in international competition.
They certainly cheat in video games.
They cheat in video games. All right. I'm just saying it's factual. And I know Woody he looks at Holly Holmes' bikini line and he thinks maybe there's a little bit too much going on down there.
That woman has an enlarged labia clitoris thing cooking. It is.
Oh yeah.
She's a 1 percentile in that regard.
It doesn't look that big to me. Her fighter name is the Preacher's Daughter. I won't have you sully her good name.
I'm going to look up the Preacher's Daughter clit and I'll give you my. I'm going to give you my undivided.
You're going to find opinion. A completely different series and just ignore all the postings that I made there. No, but and then Chris Cyborg in particular.
Oh, this is not a helpful search at all.
Chris Cyborg has. It looks like she's had like cranial development. Like
look it up here.
Yeah, like Chris Cyborg in particular. What does she squat for reps? What is it 300 or 400?
Oh, I don't know that. I don't know.
It's something absurd. Yeah,
that's insane.
For reps.
Wow.
For reps. She's and it's not one of those where you see like a girl maxing out on Reddit and you're like, oh my God, that was incredible. And it's clear that she just like blew her load lifting this, doing
What's up, everybody?
She's pumping 300 or 400.
The thing I would look to that I typically, like if you were looking at a girl specifically to see if they've used anything, I would look to their younger pictures and see if they looked way more feminine. I'm trying to find younger pictures of her to see if she ever looked like normal.
Yeah. I've never seen her look normal. Chris Cyborg in particular.
She's been ugly since the beginning.
But like objectively less so relative to current is what I'm trying to find.
That woman's a mother.
Young Chris Cyborg.
Here. This is timestamped at 3:44.
Oh, her head's definitely gotten bigger, Chris Cyborg. Yeah.
I love that
thumbnail. Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Holly Holm, is she natural? Look at her clit and decide for yourself.
Welcome to the show.
I'm just saying, looking at that myself, I
Welcome
don't
to
see
60 Minutes.
anything that's
Today we're
out
gonna-
of like, that doesn't look unnatural to me. What she's got going on down there.
I've
She's
seen
got-
her zoomed in plenty of times.
but
Like, this
She's a
isn't
good
a-
Christian gal, you know. I
This
trust her.
isn't like a doctored photo. Like, how do we know that for sure?
Uh,
Like, have you seen the live weigh-in? Like, or is
yeah,
this just a-
that's the kind of thing I watch. I hardly miss a weigh-in. I'm really into the UFC, and that's just a defining attribute of her.
right.
Ah,
Yes. That one, just based on like, typically I would look at facial features before I'd look at just like a fucking camel toe, to be honest.
Okay.
So it's kind of
Well, you do you. I look where I look, and I'm not changing.
Yeah,
it
when-
draws the eye.
It does. It draws the eye. See a big meaty clam, you know, you notice.
Her body fat is so low. She's so strong. She has a body a lot of guys would trade for, and that's just
Yeah.
I don't know. She's buff, but yeah,
I think I'm just looking at some recent pictures of her now. We're talking about Holly Holm now, right?
yeah, I think it's
Yes.
Holmes. ES.
It's not.
It's not.
No,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
been pronouncing it that way for years. I just let it go.
That's true.
Fact check. True. That's funny.
Okay, so like here, I would look at something like this, and then I would cross-reference what year that was. But there, it's like notably more feminine, I would say, or just younger looking. But I would basically just look at a timeline of that. But nowadays, yeah, I wouldn't doubt she's on something now.
Yeah, and she's probably not cutting as much weight, to be fair, in this photo, because this is when she was doing pro boxing. And the
right.
weight classes are a little different. They can be up
Yeah,
and
she
down.
looks
3.5.
she looks more muscular now for sure, and drier, and obviously she has to cut down for weight classes. But I mean, I wouldn't put it honestly, like the testing in the UFC, it's like on the surface, I think it's very, like, oh, we show up at your door randomly and we test you and it's super intense. But it's like in reality, it seems like to actually get to the point of we're going to use like a carbon isotope ratio or whatever the most elaborate, precise measurement is on you to see what exactly did you take. They have to basically fail a ratio of like testosterone to epitestosterone test first. And that ratio I've seen in studies myself, you can use upwards of like 300 milligrams a week and still not tip that ratio.
Jesus.
Yeah. So like
Sounds like a
on
lot.
this, yeah, that's like you would probably make like naturally 6 to 7 milligrams a day. So like per week, that's like, around,
That's enormous.
you could be having like 4 times the average natural production just from that.
Yeah, so 7 a
And-
day is 49 a week, right? And you can
Yeah, and that
you
would-
could add 300 to that. I guess you'd probably shut down, so you'd have
Yeah,
300.
that's like a
altogether.
good. That's like a good average TRT fucking dose. The 300 a week. That's
No, that would be like cycle territory.
really.
What
Yeah,
would a
like
TRT dose be?
is like, so basically if you produce like, it's actually the range of 3 to 10 milligrams a day is like the full range for the shittiest of guy to like the top echelon of genetic elite for natural production. So at the best you could produce like 70 a week. And then if you were taking, let's just say even 200 milligrams, like they've shown in the studies that 125 a week is kind of where you start to get into supraphysiological range. You know what I mean? So like above and beyond what you would naturally do, even if you were like the pinnacle of fucking natural production, which realistically, how many are like
Very
the
few,
likelihood?
that's why
Is,
it's the pinnacle.
yeah,
right?
the likelihood is low. So, anyways, 125 is like where things start to really get unfair advantage territory, and then anything above and beyond that, 300 is like you could sit at home and gain more muscle than a guy like going to the gym with like natural production almost.
Really?
That Woody, that place I linked you a while back, that TRT place.
Uh-huh.
That's what they'll start you out at.
At what?
300.
Really?
But like that is,
Ring,
in
ring,
my
man.
opinion,
Yeah.
it's like while that sounds good objectively, it's like if you're gonna do like optimization, you want to try and start at where you're at that high normal level and then see how your body responds before you push it into that, okay, now you're doing bodybuilder type shit. Because it's not like it's, side effect free or anything.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Let's talk about side effects. So I think of your channel being about gear and muscle growth, but almost a quarter of your videos are about hair loss. Like that's another area where you go into.
Yeah.
And you did a video on Connor Murphy. For people who don't know, Connor Murphy is this like aesthetically perfect sort of fitness industry. If aliens came down looking for a perfect specimen, they might pick him. And then he sort of backed off a little bit, maybe a little less muscle, maybe a little higher body fat. Still amazing, but visibly different than what he was the year before. And theorized
he's never gone back there.
You theorized it was about hair loss. That he saw hair loss and decided to make that trade off.
Yeah, so like for that one, to me it was super obvious, and I'll just show you an example. I actually spent the time I don't usually write articles, but it's like something, if I feel like it might get indexed well by Google or something, I'll go out of my way to write an article too. And let me just find the image here specifically.
Well, I trust your advice about not losing your hair. You got a nice like Jimmy Neutron flow going.
Yeah, have you seen that meme or whatever? There was like a meme going around on Reddit that sort of went viral, and it was like somebody commented on one of my videos. It was like, you look like Jimmy Neutron with his stats maxed out. And it was pretty fucking funny. And
damn, I'm not alone there.
it went I don't know what would constitute viral on Reddit. Like, I'm assuming it did though, because a bunch of meme pages started posting it, and they were like meme pages with like 2 million followers and stuff. And I was like, oh, like people kept tagging me, and I was like, it'd be nice if these people fucking tagged me in the caption, but so
we can get.
Well, now you know what to dress up for in Halloween.
Yeah,
exactly.
Brain blast.
So, is there hope for Justin? You did it was your video I saw about Justin Bieber, right? Did you do one on him?
Maybe.
Justin Bieber's on steroids?
No, Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber was making fun of, I don't know my royal family that well, Prince somebody or other, for losing hair when he was like, Justin Bieber was maybe 16 or 17. He's like, what's wrong with you, bro? Why don't you just use this Propecia or something? I don't know them. And fast forward 10 years and Bieber's losing his hair. And it's like, karma.
Yeah. So I linked the article. I can't for some reason copy and paste the specific Instagram link for these pictures, but they're hyperlinked in this article. If you just scroll to the bottom of it, you can see, holy shit, like that's a pretty vast difference between now he's still working out like every fucking day, but all of a sudden he just can't maintain that physique anymore. Like that is the biggest red flag in itself when your job is being in shape. You're a fitness industry influencer who literally does shirtless videos on camera every single time. So for your physique to suddenly, just for no reason whatsoever, be significantly less so than it was when you were 5 years younger and have had less time in the gym, it's kind of like, 1 + 1 = fucking obvious,
That makes sense.
And you think the reason that he decided to change is the hair loss?
Yeah, so he was starting to have it go, and like frankly, it's a wise choice on its part. If he didn't have like a protocol in place or something to prevent it from getting worse, it's just going to keep getting worse, and steroids obviously accelerate that significantly. So for him, I think he noticed, holy shit, I'm starting to go and I better get off. And now he's in a position where, well, shit, my physique is not as good as it was, but I can't go back on to maintain that because it's gonna make me bald. So
yeah, but if you're a big muscle man, you can be bald. Vin Diesel does it.
That's what everyone says, man. Everyone's like, yo, The Rock is attractive, so fuck you, shave your head. And it's like, that's what everyone's justification is, Jason Statham is bald, Bruce Willis is bald, and it's like, some people just don't want to go bald, So
that's true. I'd look at
Connor Murphy. There are so many times I see these before and after pictures and think, I'd take the before. No, in this case, he's the after. Is not as good. Usually it's backwards.
But... Oh, yeah. He still has a good physique. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
a lot of people, they misconstrue what I say is like shitting on the guy, like in his natural form. And it's like, no, like he has a great physique even now. I'm just saying when these people try to pass off oh, I'm natural, I'm just like bulking right now and that's why I'm a bit soft. It's like, no, dude, you weigh 20 pounds less now and you don't look anything like you did when you were 22 years old and now you're 27 and you still work out like 5 days a week. So
yeah. I guess if you know what to look for, it's easy to say.
Like you said, he could be a beast with bald head and still look great, but he might choose it, instead of having a perfect 10 body, a 9.5 with a head of hair and,
Exactly. Like objectively to women, they're not going to respond much different to him before versus after. It's only the guys and people like me who fucking see it, who are like, oh, you've lost muscle now. But
he's only getting less dude compliments.
Yeah, he's not trying to pick you up, Derek.
There's like a scale of like attraction to women and like dude attention. You know what I mean? And it's like the threshold is very low for what you need to do to actually be peaked for attracting women. And a lot of people think, oh, I gotta like take all the shit to get girls, and they end up just making it worse.
But really, it's more about money. Yeah,
that's it. Exactly.
Man, that guy's been goosing his bank account a bit.
His wallet's so thick, he sits sideways.
Oh man, yeah, he's like George Costanza sitting like this with his wallet.
Look at him,
Mr. Beast style wallet. So what initially got you into this? Like, you're someone who's obviously been into fitness for a very long time. Did you get into just weightlifting as a young man, and then at one point you felt like you kind of maxed out and you're like, I'm taking this to the next level? Or was it a little different than that?
Like as far as getting on like gear or getting on YouTube and stuff?
Getting on gear, like starting steroids and stuff.
Realistically, I did it. A lot of my content is based on mistakes I've made that I wouldn't do now that I know better. So like for me, it was more like I at the time I had aspirations of competing in bodybuilding shows and stuff, and I was really deluded about genetic potential and thought, oh, I'm gaining this fast now, so by the time I'm graduated from university, I'll be like 260 shredded, and like none of the fucking other possibilities of anything happening, hair loss, like side effects, this, that, longevity, none of that stuff crossed my mind. And then as it started to get to like closer to the end of my university and I was just starting to realize and learn some more shit, I sort of thought to myself, wow, like I approached that so badly. And then I just pulled everything way back. And then I sort of started posting about it. And I guess it kind of picked up from there. But what it got me into it at first is the same like superficial reasons anybody else would, like, oh, I want to be jacked as fuck to like get girls and be strong and maybe compete if I, it works out. But like,
but it wasn't like be a better pole vaulter or some sport.
No. I was actually a basketball player in high school. So it was like, I was a rail when I started. I was 140 pounds, 138 pounds at my same height. And it had nothing to do. I actually got way shittier at basketball when I started working out because my 3-point shot got thrown off by all the, once you increase your bench press by 50 pounds, all of a sudden your muscle memory for a 3-pointer is like way off. So
that makes sense. I'd rather be able to bench 300 than make a lot of threes, though.
I would have guessed the opposite, actually. Like for a weak person to make, I think about when I was really young and I tried to make a 3-point shot, 100% effort took away from any kind of finesse. And then as I got older, I'm still sucked. Don't let me lie to you. But like now that I have enough muscle to throw a ball that far, I can devote a little more attention to finesse and accuracy as opposed to just getting it cross court.
Once you've developed that stroke for like 10 years of your life and it's just locked in, and then all of a sudden you throw that off massively by gaining any amount of muscle, it's like you've got to relearn 10 years of a completely methodical thing that was subconscious before. All of a sudden I'm shooting just bricks after bricks, and it was just I wasn't going to pursue it in university really anyways because I wasn't good enough. But so that was largely why I kind of diverted to bodybuilding anyways. So I was like, this is a better use of my time realistically. So
does hair come back? Is that a thing with outside surgery?
It depends how gone it is and what you're willing to do to get it back. So like a lot of my content is about a lot of my content, well, not all, I guess, a significant amount of my content started to be about that because that's one of the main reasons I stopped taking a lot of gear is because I had a shit ton of hair loss. And for me, it was like that trade-off wasn't worth it to really push the dosages anymore. And I found I could maintain a very good physique, which wasn't that far off from where I was at the time, to be honest, with next to nothing like TRT dosages. So for me, it was like, you know, as far as getting your hair back, it depends how aggressive it is and what you're willing to do to get it, like I said. But yeah, you can in a lot of cases. For some people, it's like you're kind of delaying the inevitable, but for some people, it's at the end of the day, the being alive, you're kind of like just delaying dying to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like whatever you can do, even hair, it's basically like
That's a fun way to look at it.
Yeah. Because hairs are just organs too. So trying to maintain the longevity of them, it's like some people think it's just, you know, you're prolonging the inevitable, but it's like, yeah, you're prolonging the inevitable of anything on this earth. You know what I mean? So maybe that's a weird way to put it, but I mean, for most people, they should be able to stave it off long enough to go the majority of their life with much better hair than they would otherwise.
So your hair went way back, I assume, and then you hopped off it and it just started creeping back forward like a hairline, or is it thick and thinness of the hair where you just like was wispy but the same hairline?
Yeah, let me pull up a before. I actually don't know if I'm gonna be able to send it here. In that Connor Murphy video, I actually showed my before at one of my worst points actually, and I don't know if I can I send a picture in this thread?
Yeah, you can
here?
just drag it like right into the chat box.
Okay, let
If
me,
it's
like,
on a browser, you
screen.
can right click copy image and paste an
Okay.
image into the Discord too.
Okay, let me see.
Getting thin.
Yeah, give me a
I see
second
some
here.
photos
Okay.
on this article. Damn, this guy's triceps are just outrageous.
Which one are we talking about? Connor
Just one of
Murphy?
these photos of Connor's 2016 physique. So he's just like chiseled out of marble.
Which one is it? Can you help me find the one you like?
It's blue shorts, like halfway down the page of the article that Derek linked. Blue standing in front of the sign that says Zara.
Okay, I'll look for that.
So there's a screenshot from that video.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that was definitely thinning up.
And it's like, this is the same wall that before picture is. So a lot of people, they'll look at it and say, oh, the lighting is different. Like, that's all it is. And, you know, I've been in the same fucking video frame for about 4 years now. So I think it's pretty obvious to tell if it's getting worse or not. And
so what brought it back? Was it just going off of the gear, or did you have to do something to bring it back?
So that's a lot of my experimentation sort of, I found it intersected really well with bodybuilding. Some like the pharmacology, just like the study of drugs essentially, sort of intertwined with the bodybuilding scene really well. So as I kind of like delved into both, I sort of learned about both simultaneously throughout my YouTube. And some of the stuff that brought it back really well was like, I've tried like traditional stuff. Like there's, you know, finasteride, I'm sure you guys have heard of. There is, I don't know if you've heard of ketoconazole shampoo before. That's like an over-the-counter shampoo that's less risky than finasteride, and it works pretty well, or it works okay anyways. Minoxidil is another one I'm sure you guys have heard of.
That one I've heard of.
I don't use that personally, but that's another one that's really effective. Something called RU58841. It's like an experimental chemical that I've sort of, I guess, become known for my use of it because I've been using it since like the start of my YouTube posting, and that's helped quite a bit for me too. And then honestly, there's like a whole bunch of other shit that listing it out would kind of be, I feel like, boring for people watching.
How fast does it work? Right? Like sometimes I find any kind of drug trial, like to see what works, whatever. Like it takes so long, it's hard to tell if it did anything, right? Like if you used a shampoo for whatever a year before you saw any results, it's subtle, it's slow, how do you test it? Did you go 6 weeks and see what it did?
So it's like the life cycle of a hair is quite a while, actually. It's like several months. So typically to see if a treatment works, you have to, like what I do, it sounds fucking stupid, but anyways, give me a sec here to elaborate. I have this like a hair catcher in my shower, and you can see visibly how much hair falls out of your head each shower. So instead of waiting to see cosmetically, is my hair getting worse or better, I look at this catcher thing. Am I losing more hair or less hair? And then when I do a new treatment or I like do an experiment or whatever, I come off of whatever I was using. I wait for what can happen. And when you come off is you have a shedding phase, which kind of is like anytime you have a hormone fluctuation, you can call it a shed without getting too off track. Anyways, you wait for that to finish. And then I would introduce the new whatever I'm using and then try that for several months, assess the hair catcher thing, as well as obviously look in the mirror. But I mean, that can take months. Like obviously, even for somebody who's balding, it takes years before they visually see it in a mirror. So for me, by looking at this hair catcher, I can kind of gauge, am I losing more hair, less hair? Are the hairs becoming miniaturized, which is like if a hair follicle is getting damaged, essentially, the hairs get smaller and skinnier rather than what is called a terminal hair, which is like a healthy, long, like dark, thick hair. So it's like a little shitty, like skinny, wispy white thing is like, it's dying kind of thing. And yeah, I kind of just like assess that. I do like before and after comparisons, and then I'll post a video or whatever and say if I think this thing is worth doing or not. Yeah, it's just been like trial and error for years, to be honest.
What do you do with the women in your house? Send them to another shower? Because that would fill my hair catcher. It's those the girls. Just like that's where the hair comes from.
Have like a little thing, and then after I shower, I just like pick it up and I like look at it, and if it's like
okay,
rather than it being, it's not like I individually count them in or anything like that, but you can just
no, that would be crazy.
You would think that's crazy. But anyway, so I just like look at the fucking thing and say, okay, is there way more than usual? And yeah. And
all right.
You can kind of just, you get a good gauge,
So I've got a question. I have some regrets. I made a tweet about you, and it said something close to, hey, is this like the perfect male body or is it too much? Paraphrased. And afterwards, I was like, what an asshole. My sense of self is that I'm just an idiot that everyone ignores, right? But I don't know how many people follow me on Twitter, like 180,000 or something like that. And it's like, he didn't ask for all these people to have an opinion on him. So first of all, I'm sorry. But second,
that's okay.
How did that go for you? What did you think of the tweet, of the reactions? Like, did it bug you? You okay?
Did you watch my video I put up?
Yeah, I did. But that is your public persona, right? That's a control.
Like my staged version, you mean?
Yeah, you can say that, right? But you might have been at home like, fuck, what a dick.
Honestly, a lot of people, that was honestly my real reaction. Like for me, when somebody sees your physique in the gym with the downlighting and the pictures like sharpened and shit,
and you're dried out.
You can see when I'm sitting here, I don't look as fucking ridiculous as I might in my pictures or even some of my videos where I have a tank on or whatever. And you know what I mean? It's like just the perception of what somebody's seeing at the time is not really representative of what you look like walking around on the, every day. So
yeah,
I've seen this stuff for so long now that I'm realistic, that I know when somebody says like, ooh, that's fucking disgusting, I know if they saw me in real life, they wouldn't say the same thing. And even if they did, I wouldn't really care, to be honest.
And it wouldn't just be fear. They'd believe it.
Yeah, they would know for sure. I remember like it was probably a couple years ago now, that Chiz suggested we do a bit where we all bought minoxidil, and we were going to do Chiz and Kyle, Chiz and Kyle were going to be like, I'm going to apply a bunch of minoxidil to my face, get my beard growing thicker. And either Chiz or Kyle was like, Taylor, you buy some too and spread it all over your face and grow even more hair. And I'm like, that's hilarious. I just dropped $65 on Amazon for this. And it was maybe like 3 days later after I had got it, taken a picture and sent it to our, me, Kyle, Woody, and Chiz group chat, that Chiz like messaged me on Discord or something, was like, hey man, I know you already bought it, but I've been doing a lot of research about this, and I highly recommend you do not apply this. This is not a bit for us to do.
It's in a box somewhere.
If you don't need to grow hair, please, Taylor, do not be putting this on your face and on your head, and you might get hair follicles on your fingertips or something. And I was like, okay, all right. And then I literally kept that under my sink, 7 bottles of it. It came with one and then like a 6 bonus pack. And because that's how they sold it.
What were you going to do? Go werewolf with it?
I was going to put it all over I was going to put it all over my face and see if it made my beard thicker. Yeah. And then a friend of mine who's been going bald since we were like 16, honestly, it's okay because he's like 6'5", and so he can get, nobody sees the top of his head. And I gave it to him, and he told me that he would start using it, but I haven't noticed any hair growth, so I bet he forgot.
A lot of people don't realize that it's like minoxidil is like FDA approved and it's the over-the-counter thing to use for hair and whatnot, but it's like the way it works is actually pretty like intense. Like it causes a bunch of vasodilation. It can lower your blood pressure a shit ton, and that's sort of how it facilitates the hair growth. And some people get like heart arrhythmias and shit. Like I know some people who've ended up in the hospital just from minoxidil.
I think that's what turned us off to it. Like it sounded funny. It sounded funny at first, but then it was just like, wait, there are health concerns to Rogaine? How is that possible? Why didn't no one tell us?
Yeah, it just was like it can cause arrhythmias, facial flushing, general weakness, and in rare cases, a loss of hair. And I was like, that's awful.
Does low blood pressure do the opposite of Bluechew?
No, Bluechew is a vasodilator. Yeah.
Yeah, they do the same thing. So it's like if you had Bluechew and minoxidil simultaneously, you might fucking pass out in the gym from low blood pressure for all you know.
Well, minoxidil's out.
Minoxidil's out because Bluechew is part of my regimen.
Taylor's workout.
That's great. Pre-workout, by the way. If you've
Lift in the bar.
Get shredded, take Bluechew and work out. Is that a good strategy? Get nice and vascular, I guess.
For getting a good pump, yeah, it's fucking amazing, actually.
Or are you talking about Viagra or the tadalafil?
I like
obviously Cialis.
Yeah, Cialis is better in my opinion, but that's only because Viagra is like you need to have an empty stomach for it to work really well, and the half-life is only 4 hours, so it's like you have to like time it when you're gonna fuck the chick. Whereas with Cialis, it's like you just pop it, you know, you're good.
You're good for like 36 hours with that.
Oh yeah, dude. With Viagra, you have to like methodically like plan out your fucking protocol, and it's like
I have side effects with Viagra. Like I have light sensitivity and headaches related to related to sildenafil or whatever it is. Does not go down well, but tadalafil I've never had any issues other than like if I really take a lot of it, like a stuffy nose. But that's it.
That's the one side effect I have. Yeah,
but I got
other than the intended one, but
almost 30 milligrams.
The stuffy nose is a big deal for me.
30 milligrams of Cialis or a Viagra?
Cialis.
Jesus, fuck, dude, that's a huge dose.
I know. I wanted to see what happened.
It's a fucking hammer dose, dude. Jesus.
Yeah, I guess I usually take either 1 6 milligram chewable or 2. It says to take 1 or 2, and I've found that
it sure does.
That does
and I don't recommend that anybody take more than 1 or 2.
Of course not. We advise everyone to abide by the packaging.
One is more than enough, I think. But the stuffy nose is so I have sleep apnea. I sleep with the CPAP machine.
Same, dude.
Oh. Yeah, so the stuffy nose means I don't breathe through my nose very well, which means I don't get a very good night's sleep. And, you know, you really have to decide if that's something that you want.
Yeah, I used to have bad problems breathing through my nose, and I used to use the full face mask. But I hated, you know, waking up with the lines around your face and shit. So I've been trying to use the nose one too.
That's what I use.
And I find it better, to be honest. But yeah, I've had a CPAP for like 7 years now.
Is it loud?
It's kind of like you might listen to it and be like, how the fuck could you sleep with that? But it's almost just such a consistent noise that it's almost relaxing for some people, and for some it just you forget it's there because it's
that's what I was gonna say. You get used to sounds like that, I've lived in the I've lived in a lot of different places, and when I've been in parts of the city where it's just like loud as fuck, and like for the first 6 months I'm just like, these fucking neighbors outside with their like hot rods spinning tires and yelling in Spanish. I'm never going back to sleep. But like I moved and I was like, I can't get to. I had to put Speedy Gonzalez on. I had to hear arriba, 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 andale, andale, and I was just like,
mine makes nearly no noise. No noise.
You probably have a newer one.
You have a BIPAP, don't you?
Yeah, I do. A BIPAP is it's like a CPAP, but a CPAP is just pressure. A BIPAP, if it senses you're not breathing, will kick it off, almost like a respirator. But here, I want to say this: it is quieter than a ceiling fan on low. It is quieter than the second hand on a wristwatch. Like, it is quiet. It's not the kind of like if you're thinking air conditioner, not in that league. You might not know. It's quieter than the air coming out of your vents, you know, for the air conditioner and such. Like, it's quiet.
The newer ones are more quiet, but like I've been using the same one from. I have a newer one, but my old one has been working fine, and it's not laziness. I just haven't switched to the new one. And I think the new one's way quieter, but mine, I've been using the same one for like 7 years now. So
Do you ever?
I've always wondered how it is when you're hooking up with a chick as a single. Are you a single guy?
I was going there. Yeah.
No.
You're not. When you were single and using that CPAP, was it ever like you're jacked, good looking guy, Jimmy Neutron, head of hair? You're going out, you're picking up chicks, you bring them back, you fuck, after you've taken your tadalafil, and then she decides to spend the night. You just roll over and put on your Darth Vader mask. Is that ever, is that ever uncomfortable?
Everyone thinks that's like weird or awkward, and honestly, it's not at all. I just say, like, when you're big enough, your neck gets to a certain size that no matter what you do, even if you're lean, you are going to have inhibition of your airway right here because it just kind of like falls into itself. So anyone who's over like, okay, this is like a bad rough estimate, but like typically anybody who bodybuilds and is bulking up at all is going to eventually probably benefit from a CPAP. So it's like very common now, despite somebody who doesn't have it thinks no one might think it's weird. And like, I can see how people would think, oh, a chick thinks that's weird, but it's like, do you want me to fucking die in my sleep? Like, I'm going to use it. So like, I don't care.
I looked at it through the other lens. So I felt really weird. I still feel weird. Like
oh, really?
I prefer it in the dark of the night and stuff. Like,
okay, I'll tell you what is weird though. I'll tell you what is weird is if you're going to a chick's house and you have the CPAP machine and she automatically assumes, she's like, what's this thing? And you have to somehow skirt around. I'm not presuming I'm going to fuck you tonight. And so I have a fucking sleep machine in my car. I just happen to have it in my trunk.
That's no business of yours.
But the other side
I
of it
dated a
is
girl for a long time, and she would not. It was like months before I knew she had a retainer. I was like finally she felt comfortable enough to like pull, and I was just like, when did this start? She's like, around 16 years old. We're 27. I'm just like, what? Why are you just now breaking it? She's like, I didn't feel comfortable breaking it out.
With a retainer? That everybody has a retainer.
Yeah.
Well, I never wear mine, but everybody has one.
my wife wears one, and I don't think less of her one iota, right?
Oh,
Exactly.
I do.
And if my wife hypothetically had a BIPAP,
I broke up with her right away.
that wouldn't bother me either. But for somehow I held myself to a higher standard. Like I'm supposed to be perfect.
I'm out of here, Snaggletooth. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, the CPAP things, it's only awkward if you're going to their house and you're just starting to see them. Because it's like, even with like a Cialis or a Viagra, you can keep it in your wallet. So it's not like they can be like, what's this thing? Because you don't have it out in the open. But a CPAP
yeah, Kyle
machine,
can. He's got a fucking horse pill.
No, I just take a bunch of the little ones. They're like sweet tarts.
Yeah.
They do taste great. Yeah.
You got to bring this machine with you in a fucking bag, and it has a big hose attached to it, a mask. And obviously, you either have to hide it in your trunk, and then when you're about to go to sleep, after you fuck, I got to go back to my car and get the thing. And then no matter what, she's thinking, okay, this guy thought he was going to fuck me because the thing is in his trunk. You know what I mean?
But if you already fucked her, she'll probably think like, wow, he's got great foresight.
You're like, no, I'm prepared for any scenario. There's also a shovel in there.
Yeah, there's zip ties, my tools.
So Derek,
a bag of Cialis for my dick in my car too, so
the CPAP machine, huge improvement to your whole quality of life, like me.
Oh, dude, it's like the more weight I gained, the worse my sleep apnea got, to the point where I was falling asleep in university classes like I would literally be on a full night's sleep, sitting in front of the teacher and just pass out for the entire lecture, wake up when it was done and leave. I couldn't stay awake sitting in one spot.
I was
for
a
more than
dangerous
5
driver.
minutes. Yeah, dude. I one time drove over an island in the middle of the car, like one of those big, section off things that divide oncoming and traffic and whatnot. I just like blew up my tire because I fell asleep at the wheel like a long time ago.
Fuck.
Yeah, Woody snoring was outrageous. Like I've shared hotel rooms with him a few times, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, is
I
there
was an
something wrong with
Olympic
you?
level
The answer is
snorer.
yes.
I was,
Yeah, it's top tier. My dad, I grew up and my dad was always snoring so loudly that I could hear him like through my door, all the way down the hall, through his door, all the way across his bedroom. Like, we're separated by a good distance and multiple walls and doors, and still.
Yeah.
But Woody, definitely on par with my dad. I don't know who was louder, but he's on one of those machines too now. Like it's.
Do you still snore with the machine? Because I don't know.
This
I
was
used to
pre.
He doesn't either,
This
no.
was pre-machine.
Okay.
Yeah. And like when I first got it, took maybe a week before I was good at sleeping with that thing on, and knew how to adjust it and get it right.
Oh, dude. When I first got it, I'd wake up and the thing would be fucking hucked across the room because I just couldn't sleep with it. I'd, in my sleep, rip it off my face and like throw it and then fall back asleep.
I put it on in the dark and I couldn't figure out where the front and the back was. I'm like putting my head through not the head hole, and it's just all fucked up. And the fact that I needed it was very upsetting for me. So it was already like a sensitive subject, and I was just like tempted.
Did Jackie know better than to tease you at all?
I don't think she's wired like that. No, she's never teased me about anything like that. And when I first got it, I immediately went on like I immediately went on this paramotor trip. So I was in a hotel by myself trying to figure it out the first week. But anyway, then once I got sleeping, I woke up like charged. It's like I'm a teenager or something. I just wake up in the morning and seize the day. Like who wakes up and just says, what a glorious time to be alive. It's a whole new thing.
Is a sign of having sleep apnea, Woody and Derek, like, because who knows, maybe I fucking have it. Like, you'll get a full night's sleep and you'll wake up and just the thought of getting out of bed, you're like, how have I been laying here for 8 hours? It feels like it's been 20 minutes.
Right.
And
Your
like,
quality of sleep is just shit. So you'll wake up and
fuck, maybe I have it. I'm overweight.
Yeah, dude,
Could also be alien abduction.
Get a sleep test, man, because seriously, anybody with any neck thickness at all, I think it's the #1 cause of bodybuilder deaths prematurely.
Now, this is a common misconception. I'm the first one to jump in and point out when someone's wrong. Neck thickness is the tightest line between a physical trait and health. That is what you want. The thickest neck. It's your body saying, sleep, be gone from me. I do not need you. I am already charged and illuminated with my own musk, my own vibe.
Alex Jones got a thick neck.
So thick.
Yeah, I saw a comment on the internet today where it was like, or no, it was on your fucking video, where you were going through Joe Rogan's like physique, gut, and someone in the comments was like, the way Joe Rogan looks here is how Alex Jones thinks he looks. And I was like, that is a high IQ comment, sir.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's an interesting thing, right? Because a lot of people look at Joe Rogan's like atypical body shape and say like, oh, look at that atypical body shape. What a terrible thing. And it's like, aha. But you're comparing it to like some ideal body shape. I want to know the alternate no HGH, no testosterone version of Joe Rogan. He might be pudgy and skinny and a downgrade from where he is now.
Yeah,
he was a good-looking guy in the 90s.
He's self-admittedly on TRT, HGH, and thyroid. So it obviously significantly plays a role in him maintaining his muscle today.
I think he's the best him he can be. I think he's the best him he can be. And I think it's a good look. And I think those pictures were like he even said, he's like, I'd gotten heavy right there. And then he went on like that carnivore diet and he lost like 19 pounds in a month or something like that. And I don't think he looks like that on the daily.
No, yeah. I think he has autoimmune issues too with some of the food he was eating. And I think that's what largely influenced the gut distension.
Inflammation.
Yeah. So like when you have a garbage cheat meal, I'm sure you've noticed your stomach, even though you're not any fatter 10 seconds or like 20 minutes after eating a meal than you were, 20 minutes before the meal. But now all of a sudden your stomach is like out to fucking here. Whereas prior it was, flat. So I think a lot of it had to do with just his food choices too. And I've been considering doing like a follow-up video on that because some of it I feel like I might have highlighted a bit too in favor of the growth hormone rather than highlighting the diet portion itself. But
what is it? Did he? I'm not familiar. Did he say like a special diet he was eating prior to that? Or
no, just having tons of carbs and not being like tight on his regimen and whatnot. And then after, when you go carnivore, you're having no carbs at all. So you instantly drop all that water that glycogen holds or all the carbs hold in the muscle. So you instantly lose like 8 pounds of water weight. So obviously that is like in itself going to be pretty significant in your body composition. And then on top of that, you're having the most autoimmune friendly version of food you could have. Basically, like pretty much anyone who does really well on this carnivore diet seems to be somebody who reacts heavily to something like, I don't know, dairy or, gluten or whatever. And then they do this thing and all of a sudden they have no bloating issues anymore. and no, their eczema clears up. I think he even said he had a vitiligo or something, and it started to get better once he did the carnivore. So obviously he had some sort of existing autoimmune issues that were getting exacerbated by his diet prior.
That can't possibly be a good diet to be on, right? Like I trust but like, just eating nothing but meat. Like, what do you take? Like 1 a day vitamins to try and get some nutrients? Like, what do you? There's no way eating chicken every day could be okay.
If you do it the way some of the people do it in this like space that sort of make it a fad, then you're going to end up micronutrient deficient down the line. Like if you just have a steak, like every meal just steak. But if you do like you have like the bone broth and you have all like the actual gelatinous parts of the animal, then you can get a lot of the micronutrients that you'd otherwise be missing. And I'm not going to say you can do it long term, because it's not like there's really any data to support it, but it's certainly interesting, and a lot of people seem to do well on it. And I think if you're going to do it, the healthier way to do it is, it's basically called like nose to tail carnivore. So you eat like everything rather than just like muscle tissue, which is what most people do. So yeah, if you have like, you'll know, I think it was, I forget what exactly it was. It was like, it's like certain animals, when they kill another animal, they'll go right for like the liver, for example, rather than eating the muscle meat, because it's super micronutrient dense. And everyone thinks, oh, I just gotta have a big steak. And it's like, yeah, you get a lot of B vitamins and shit, but you're missing a lot of the stuff that you would otherwise get, like the vitamin A and stuff from the liver. So that's why there's all this, there's like a push for some of the carnivore people to get more to like a healthy version of carnivore. And then there's like the Michaela Peterson and Sean Baker and shit, who basically just eat steaks all day.
All right. So you did 2 videos. I watched them both, but I didn't quite keep up. You took the discipline of a bodybuilding scientist and applied that to pressing the tongue to the top of your mouth for a year?
Yeah. Yeah.
What,
yeah.
What are we doing here? What was the goal?
So that, basically the idea, and you might relate because you have sleep apnea, is if you, this isn't any firm science. This is sort of just like me doing it because it was no additional time out of my day to do it. But there was this guy named Mike Mew, and he started a channel called Orthotropics, and he's originally an orthodontist who basically had like a, I don't know, like a renegade perspective on fucking teeth and shit. And it was basically how
don't tell me to listen to the establishment. I'm big orthodontists.
Yeah, so
you don't need braces, just push with your tongue.
Yeah, so
it's all coming from Big Rubber Band at the top.
Apparently he had his license revoked or something because he was like going against like the Orthodontic Society or something. I don't know. Anyway, basically his idea is that like malocclusion of your mouth, like, your teeth crowding, like overlapping and having all those issues you would get fixed with braces as a kid, they're caused by your tongue and being not on the roof of your mouth and mouth breathing. So basically, if you have your tongue on the roof of your mouth, then the teeth can't crowd because your tongue is basically preventing them from crowding. You know what I mean? So
I'm the poster boy for this. Yeah, I had terrible malocclusion or whatever it was because my tongue doesn't reach up all the way to my mouth because I'm tongue-tied. My dentist told me that a little more recently.
Your tongue doesn't reach the roof of your mouth?
Well, what they say to do is like open your mouth as wide as you can right now, Kyle. As wide as you can. Now, point your mouth towards the camera, and then this isn't a fucking trick or something. So point your mouth towards the camera and try and make your tongue touch the roof of your mouth. It doesn't get cut. I can't.
Wow, I can easily do that.
Touch the roof. It's because that like fucking tendon thing is way too tight, and I've been going to the same fucking dentist since I was 6, and it was the last appointment I went to where he goes, "Wow, you're really tongue tied," and I wanted to be like. First time in my mouth, asshole? No, you've been in here hundreds of times at this point, or dozens at least. And so that's exactly right. He was telling me that because my tongue wasn't situated right and it doesn't ever rest, or it would like intermittently rest on the roof of my mouth and then back down, that it just fucked up all my teeth and the way they grew because I never had that overlap the way teeth are supposed to when you bite. I always just clash right on top of each other. And that's why all my teeth
like
are
a ventriloquist stomach.
There you go. Just like a ventriloquist stomach.
Right on top of one another.
I got all these fence posts put in.
So the theory behind it is that if you let that happen, you basically not only end up in a position where your teeth get fucked up, but your face, the way your face grows as a kid, is also going to be much uglier than you would otherwise look. So there's like, have you ever heard of
I mean, some people look horrific.
Rewind
Some of these
about 8
people
seconds
look like
and
absolute
and analyze
monsters.
what's happening.
These people look like absolute ghouls, monsters. Their jaws, it's this steam shovel jaw down there, just bigger than the top of their head. It's so big.
so this guy,
That's hilarious. I'm like, this is something I had pretty bad. And Derek's like, you know, a lot of people who have that look retarded.
Oh yeah, glad it missed me there.
That's good. That's good. Sorry, for
Sidestep
interrupting.
that
Go
one.
ahead.
Yeah,
Right, guys?
so when you're a kid, you can, and you're still in the growth phase of everything, you can apparently avoid it, even if you're sort of like screwing yourself. Like if you're 7 years old or something, you already have malocclusion, like shitty development of your maxilla, which is like these bones or whatever. Then you can change it by adopting the proper posture, essentially, and just doing it for the duration of your youth. And he has like these before and afters of kids he's worked with, and their faces go from like ugly to like better looking, essentially. So basically all these people on especially Reddit and like these like looks maxing type threads and shit, they start to look to this guy as like you know, it's like the pinnacle of doing shit to max out yourself and blah blah blah. And the reason I got interested in that is because I've been a mouth breather for the majority of my life, and it's largely what led me to my sleep apnea, as well as having to use that face mask while I sleep, because I'm always breathing through my mouth because I have a deviated septum from all the basketball I played as a kid, as well as when you get heavier, it's just harder to breathe. So when I was bulking, when I was younger, I used to bulk up to like 40 pounds heavier than I am now. And that was when I noticed my sleep apnea. The heavier I got, the worse the sleep apnea got. And so basically I started doing this thing because apparently it's supposed to, even if you're an adult, it's probably not going to work like if you were a kid, apparently. But I thought, why the fuck not? I might as well try it because it's no extra time out of my day to literally put my tongue up rather than have my tongue down.
Mine stays there. Like I think it's an OCD thing. Mine always stays there.
Well, there you go. Then you're probably healthier than the rest of us. So
I doubt it.
I started mewing 2 months ago when I saw the video, and it's done nothing for me. I'm exactly the same. My teeth are the same. I'm
just as ugly as I was before.
Yeah, some people, they think they get significant results as an adult, and like I don't know if it's really, you know, worth pursuing, but it's like I figured it's nothing more out of my day I need to do. It's just like it's the exact same amount of time I'm breathing, so I might as well. And there's some health benefits in regards to carbon dioxide amount that comes in through your nose versus your mouth in terms of oxygen carrying capacity and like lifespan and stuff, and just like endurance in sports. So I don't remember the exact science on that, but something to do with like the ratio of carbon dioxide to something or other. And there's supposedly health benefits too. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try it. So
how did it work?
You told me that chewing gum did something. I would be more apt to believe that.
How did it work?
Yeah, some people think it developed like this part, the chewing gum, but I don't really know.
Did it do anything for you?
Not really. I don't think so anyway. But you know, it was just one of those things that I figured I might as well do it because I've had the sleep apnea for years, and I thought if I can improve the situation where perhaps I don't need to use a thing that fucking blows air through my nose anymore, that might be worth pursuing.
Right.
You know?
So
definitely,
you test all kinds of different steroids and SARMs and things like that, and then report back what works. How do you get it?
That's a good question, dude.
A question that we don't answer? I mean, you can say that if you need to.
Wait, isn't it legal unless you are playing a sport or something?
So is there someone in your local universe that gets it? Is there some dark web website?
No, it's kind of like
we have
you can go to Silk Road. Yeah.
We have some expertise in mail order drugs here on the show too.
Yeah, like typically through like the best like indication I give is through bodybuilding forums. You sort of develop connections over the years through these guys that have the connections essentially, and you sort of just network with other bodybuilders and other people in this industry, and eventually you get to a point where if you're connected enough, you know the top labs in your country, you know what is reputable, what's not, what is, you know, producing good results, what's, you know, fucking people up and giving infections and stuff like that. And you sort of just weed it out from there. And some people have more access than others, obviously. And it kind of depends on who you know. Like for some people, I know some people who have friends in countries that have access to over-the-counter stuff. They just walk up to the counter and they order what they need. And then their friend ships it to them from like Greece or something, where you can just go up to a counter and, you know, buy some shit over the counter and get
you can just buy that shit in Mexican pharmacies. I was there a few months ago, and you just pop right in, buy as much as you need. Mexican steroids.
Yeah, that's an example too. But nowadays it's actually a lot easier to get access to pharmaceutical grade medication because there's all these hormone replacement therapy clinics popping up that back when I first got into bodybuilding really weren't a thing. It's becoming a lot more flexible with like optimization rather than just treating clinical deficiencies. So now, even if you're not, like I always talk about, you know, this guy probably goes to a hormone replacement therapy clinic in my videos, because nowadays you can literally do that. You can go in with on paper, like a normal level of testosterone and just be like, I have symptom of this, this, and this.
I identify as a much larger man.
Yeah. And like you were saying before, right, about how you can get 300 milligrams prescribed like super easily.
Yeah. Yeah, you say to them, like, hey, what would my levels need to be to get prescribed? And they're like, well, we look at the big picture. Levels are, of course, one thing we look at, but also, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
Are you feeling like you want to pump some fucking iron? Wow.
So that's
Dr. Maximoff over here likes that kind of attitude. Yeah. They're not.
So that's that it's becoming a lot more flexible in the past few years, especially with these HRT clinics where you can pretty much get optimized rather than have to show up and be legitimately super low T and be like clinically deficient to get a prescription. And a lot of these guys, they're focused on, well, some of them are just money driven. So they'll be like, here's your cookie cutter prescription of testosterone, this drug and this, and here's your overpriced Cialis, and here's this. You know what I mean? And they'll try and sell you as much as they can because the markup on pharmaceutical grade medication is just ridiculous. But some doctors, you know, they're still focused on optimization too. So it's not like back in the day where you'd have a guy closely monitor and make sure you're in that reference range of natural production still. They'll be like, okay, how do you feel? No, I'm not good enough yet. Okay, here's another 50 milligrams on top of what a doctor would have normally prescribed you however many years ago when this was less, I don't know, widely or mainstream accepted sort of thing. Now it's like, I don't know. It's kind of just like, it's not like the Wild West, but you have a lot more leeway in terms of what you prescribe. You don't need to be in this arbitrary reference range anymore. It's kind of
they're treating it more like, would you like another scoop, sir?
Yeah, like you can pretty much get
people with the cheese at Olive Garden.
Whipped cream
you
or
just
no?
tell me when to stop.
I've got a couple, or at least one funny video to pop onto, but I wanted to ask, when you're not getting geared up and lifting weights and making videos, what are some other things you enjoy doing? Just other hobbies?
To be honest, I work a fucking shit ton, but when I am not working, I usually just go out with my girl and, you know, do go for, I don't know, go find places to eat, basic shit. Like I'm nothing crazy exciting. Do whatever's.
You work outside of YouTube? Or are you talking about YouTube?
No, yeah, I have a company that sells nootropics as well as like pre-workout formulas and stuff. So I run that. I try to post daily on YouTube, which I'm sure you guys know is a fucking challenge in itself. What else? I do a lot of consultations too for like hormone optimization, stuff like that.
What's the name of your nootropic company, by the way?
Gorilla Mind.
Gorilla Mind. Okay.
Yeah. So like gorillamind.com is the main site right now. And then we also have gorillamode.com, which is where we feature the pre-workout formulas and stuff. And it's basically I put my name behind it in terms of the formulations, because it's not like we outsource it to some private label manufacturer that makes the formulas for a margin. It's like I literally sit down on a Word document and write out the formulas myself based on what I would use. And then like, you know, sort of act as the chemist, quote unquote. And then I like formulate it, package it up, and then private label it and sell it through the platform there. Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to ask you about this. So You sound like you're familiar with the UFC. So when these fighters talk about using supplements like creatine specifically that is mixed in China, and they talk about how it could have been from a machine that previously had steroids or something else in there, and that could get contaminated. They could test hot because they were just taking cheap creatine. Is that factual at all? Is that potentially real?
Yeah, it is, because I've actually a long time ago in some of our like original batch tests of like certain samples, we'd see that some of these labs, they would have, even the labs sometimes they have trace amounts of residual shit they've tested in their machine that then pops, which is like, obviously I don't know where the UFC specifically is getting their analysis done, but I've seen labs that I've paid myself to have third-party testing done be inconsistent in their results with the exact same supplement.
Yeah.
So like I've paid to get this stuff done before too, and it's like it's definitely possible to have like minuscule amounts spike on something. But I think a lot of the times it's a cover up for like trying to get away with something, because these athletes are so aware of the risks of these supplements that it's like, would you be so dumb as to use some random company's creatine when your fucking career depends on you not getting popped? Like
all I'm hearing is undefeated, undisputed.
Yeah. So like for me, I would, if I was a fighter, that would be like, to me, that seems like a cop out for you just didn't like circumvent the testing very well in most cases.
TJ Dillashaw's in it. I heard TJ Dillashaw talk about popping hot. He popped hot for EPO. And something about EPO I think is particularly difficult to deny. Like there's no people don't accidentally pop hot for EPO. So he just owned it. But to hear him talk about how well he was tested and all the different levels of, I don't know what they all were, but like different levels of chemicals in his bloods to make sure that his training was going well. They used it as a way to monitor overtraining. And it's like the level of testing he did seemed like that of someone who was taking lots of steroids and gear.
I'll tell you who's not testing right now, and that's USADA. USADA is not testing these guys right now because of the corona thing. It's time to juice up. Time to juice up, boys. Let's go, John. Let's go.
Right oh, he's way ahead of you, Kyle.
Oh, I hope so. I hope I don't care. I want John on juice. That's best John.
Maybe he'll get a takedown again.
A little bit of UFC talk. I don't know if you saw, April 18th is now canceled. 249 is just completely scrapped now. Not happening.
I thought they swapped the main card for.
They did. And
Private Island.
This is very up. This is like as of an hour.
I choose to believe Tony Ferguson's afraid of Gaethje.
Tony Ferguson isn't afraid of a fucking bulldozer. He'd be dropping elbows on a forklift. That man doesn't care. But they were going to do it apparently at a tribal casino type place in Cali, and the higher ups at Disney as well as ESPN got in touch with Dana and said, no, you're not. Don't do it. Rose Namajunas had already dropped out of the card, like as of yesterday or the day before. So it was a diminishing card, although it was still good. It was still a really good card. But yeah, that card is not going to happen. Everything's getting pushed. And of course, Dana White has rented Fight Island, which is literally the premise of like that Bruce Lee movie and Mortal Kombat and all of my favorite like make-believe fight shit. He's renting a goddamn private island and they're building a facility to host the fights in the future.
This might be my version of the perfect outcome. Is Ferguson back to Khabib on Fight Island? Or is he still with Gaethje?
Well, Khabib is pretending like he can't leave Russia, so probably Gaethje.
I think Gaethje stands a real chance of beating Ferguson, and that would end the Ferguson-Khabib matchup, and I don't want that.
I don't want that either, but I agree. I mean, anything's possible. He's definitely got a puncher's chance, and that's kind of how he rolls. He put it best himself. You know, either I KO this guy in the first or the second, or I lose in the fourth or the fifth. You know, I think that's pretty accurate. You know, nobody beats Tony's cardio, and Gaethje has not been training for a 5-round fight since like last November or something, like Tony has. So yeah.
What was Khabib's excuse? He's quarantined, or what is the problem there?
He doesn't honestly have a good excuse, but his excuse that I keep hearing is it's harder to leave Russia than they say. So like every report I see says, "Oh yeah, you can just get a private flight," but he's like, "That's harder than they say it is," and it's like, which part, packing or?
I'm a Khabib fan, And even looking at it through that lens, his excuse has been like evolving. There's been a couple different ones, and it's been an inconsistent message. And it's hard to walk away from that thinking that he really, really wishes he was fighting.
Yeah, he's not hungry to fight Tony Ferguson in the sort of like scrappy.
So he
like,
might be sane.
Well, first I'm going to go into the Czech Republic, and then from there I can get a travel visa to this neighboring country, and from there I can book passage on it. Like no, he's not like digging and scraping and clawing to get there the same way. I bet if they told Tony Ferguson, like, look, you can fight in Dagestan, he'd be like, all right, well, how are we going to get me there? Maybe there's a cannon you could shoot me out of. What about Tesla? Can that guy take me up into space and I could just
Here's the thing. Everyone's saying Khabib's afraid of Tony. And I don't think that's true. I do think that he feels like this whole foul-up situation has caused him not to be the best version of him, and that's who he wants to face Tony as. Khabib's not afraid of anyone. Khabib has tried to take on Daniel Cormier while he was currently the heavyweight champion of the world. Khabib has jumped into a crowd to take on a team of professional fighters after beating the fuck out of Conor McGregor. He says, I got 5 more rounds in me. I'll go after these 6 guys.
Khabib hide on that bus.
Khabib had... it wasn't his bus.
Yeah, what a bitch.
Khabib has gone after anyone anytime, and he was not afraid of Conor, as proven by the fact that he choked Conor the fuck out like a little bitch he is. So Khabib is not scared of Tony Ferguson, but he did seem to dodge him, and it's hard to paint that any other way. No, but that's way here. I've got a question for Derek. They say there is no magic pill that causes you to lose weight. I want your opinion on that because I would like to buy such a pill.
Ooh, meth or cocaine.
Oh, like actual fat loss. Yeah, there's things that are pretty intense. Like, have you ever heard of DNP before?
Tell me more about this
I
DNP.
Not, but I'm taking notes.
I don't recommend taking
How do you spell DNP?
It's like, okay, so it's like 2,4-dinitrophenol, and this stuff was used in explosives in World War. And
you're not dissuading me.
Basically, they found that when the people were making the bombs or whatever, their body temperatures were increasing substantially, and some of them overheated and died. And then they took this and marketed it as a fat loss aid, because what it does is it cranks your metabolic rate through the roof, and it basically self-induces like a fever. So
Taylor, are you sold? I'm sold.
I'm sold.
No, like, don't do it. Trust me.
Okay.
But basically,
where would I not buy it?
it's hard to get. It's harder to get than steroids now.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. But basically, it's like what guys do is it increases their energy expenditure so much, but they feel so shitty because they're so run down from how much their body's burning. They'll take it, sit at home in front of a fan, and just like lose fat and just fucking.
Dude, it
sounds like they're melting.
Rich.
You could be a
Like
DNP salesman because this is outstanding. What
No,
playing?
get excited about it. Basically, you take this pill, sit, and lose weight.
Could I play Escape from Tarkov while losing weight? Because
I'm sure you feel fucking horrible.
I can play video games 12 hours a day.
I've been trying chemotherapy. Now, stay with me here. On the off chance you do have any undiagnosed cancers, problem solved there. All right?
And if you don't, you will soon. Because it's chemo.
You meet lots of ladies for short-term relationships. It's a good deal.
So DNP
I'll
sounds
bring
like
lubricant, my own toys. Just anyone.
Yeah, Fight Club.
Yeah, Fight Club. I watched that recently. Really good. I probably hadn't watched Fight Club in almost 10 years. And my girlfriend had never seen it. We watched it. She thought it was great. I
the only thing in that movie that I, whenever I hear it, I just like roll my eyes. It's when they're on the bus and Brad Pitt's like, he's talking about commercialization of the world or something like that. And he's just like, they tried to sell you 6-pack abs and this and that. And I'm just like, you're Brad Pitt. You're Brad Pitt. You're the guy they sell the 6-pack abs with. You're that guy. You have an 8-pack. You are so lean in this movie. He's super lean in that movie.
Oh, and then Derek's take on it is Derek's take on like movie star bodies is, I don't know why people even call out this Fight Club physique is good.
Yeah.
What? Well, dude, Brad Pitt looked great. He looked live.
No, dude, I think his physique was great. I think that. Dude, what video are you watching? That's not even what I fucking said.
I always misquote you, but what he actually said was something closer. That's what I do. I'm sorry, but it was like I don't know why they call out Fight Club.
I didn't say that.
I don't know why they call out Fight Club as the best Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt actually looked much better in this other movie, is what you said.
Gotcha.
What was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other
I
one?
think
Do you know?
He looked better in Troy, I think.
Troy.
Yeah, yeah.
Troy.
Oh,
Troy's
when he
in-
jumps and he zoots that guy right in the fucking side, like,
Oh,
right in the trap muscle. and just-
Boagrios!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Troy
Troy Brad
comes
Pitt.
out all jacked as
I was
shit.
that bummed me out when I first saw that movie because I was like, damn, that guy's huge. That'd be cool if somehow they run together and they're like, I'm gonna join your team. We're gonna be badass duos. Even though I'd read the Odyssey and the Iliad and I knew it wasn't gonna happen. And then he kills him. That was just
That might be his best physique of any film. If you go back to like Thelma and Louise, he's super lean there too, but he's also probably like 20 there.
Most
think
of his
Troy,
roles started like mid-20s, where he actually started. Even I think Fight Club was like the first really notable one, and prior to that, he was like, he didn't really start his acting career till like mid-20s, anyways, as far as movies go. But even that, he was skinny, but he's been shredded with a visible six-pack for like the entirety of his career.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, when was 7? When did 7 come out? Because he was not bulky in that at all. 95. Yeah,
I don't think he takes
you're
his
right.
shirt
He was
off
more
in
of a
7.
thin guy.
You know, it's more like noir and it's so
Button-down
dark.
shirts.
That movie
Button
rocks.
down. Yeah. You know what
Yes,
I
it
recently
does.
learned about Tom Cruise? His body's fucking CGI these days.
No,
really.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They
his
do
whole
a
body.
They do a CGI overlay when Tom Cruise is shirtless now.
That can't be true. How?
Jeez.
It
Absolutely.
has to be true. He's over 50, and I look at these things
what
through
was
this
he last-
distorted lens. When Derek
In The
does a
Mummy?
video and says, "Hey, let's look at how Chris Pratt got as good looking as he is," all I want to hear is he's on massive doses of tea. And Woody, it's okay you look like that. If you could make those videos, it would help my self-esteem. Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy, Derek's takeaway was he just worked hard because he had been fit earlier in his life and he just cut the weight and got back to who he can normally be. I think it was Captain America.
Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans. And he looked at him in Captain America, and admittedly he could be CGI'd. You know, he could be enhanced like we're talking about Tom Cruise. But he was like, I don't know, this just looks like him from earlier roles, but fat. I'm like, God.
I think this Tom Cruise thing is a very unique thing to Tom Cruise. I think it's very expensive to do, but I want to say it was the
He's got
Mummy.
that Scientology money.
He's got that Scientology. He's not paying for it. You know, the studio's paying for it. But like with they were really banking on the Dark Universe to be Warner Brothers, like I believe it's Warner Brothers, to be their Marvel, you know, to be this new thing with like the Invisible Man and Frankenstein, and because nobody owns those characters anymore. They're too fucking old. So you can just use them. You don't have to pay somebody to make a Captain America movie. You can just, I'm going to make a Dracula movie because who owns Dracula? No fucking body. So they made the Mummy, you know, that, and they've got like Tom Cruise and a couple other stars in there. Oh yeah. What's his name? The Australian who likes to beat people up from Gladiator.
Crow something?
Yeah, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe
yeah.
fighting around the world.
Fighting around the world with Russell Crowe.
Gonna beat the shit out of someone here. Fuck him up a
We're
bit.
just gonna pick a fight here. So I don't think that's him. I don't think he's legit anymore necessarily, but he's still fucking badass. Like, I guess kooky as fuck, but I really want to see the new Top Gun movie with him in it. The visuals with him in the cockpit. Like, we were watching that trailer with him in the cockpit for Top Gun 2, and my dad and I was like, if it weren't Tom Cruise, I'd never say this, but is it possible he's flying that fucking fighter jet right now? Is that possible?
Right?
Could they have given him a fight? I know he's not, but it looks so real, and he is one to jump in and just do things.
Yeah, he really does learn shit like that. He learned to skydive. He's an expert skydiver. Did you guys know that? He has something like 7,000 jumps.
Yeah, if you want to go solo, you've got to get to a pretty high level anyway, and then he kept going above that. Yeah, he's
Did you see where he like snapped his ankle in that like jumping scene?
Yeah.
No, I did not. In like a Mission Impossible, he just
He was
snapped it.
like jumping from building to building. And he like snapped the shit out of his ankle and then just like kept going.
Yeah, he was able to keep going for a few more steps, and they were able to use that scene. Yeah,
that's an incredibly painful injury.
Derek.
Yeah.
In all your tests, have you ever had issues with aggression? It's kind of hard to self-diagnose. Like, when you're crazy,
Typically-
you're the only one who doesn't know.
Yeah. So typically with gear, first of all, it depends on the compound, but largely it boils down to if you're an easily agitated person, as is, it's going to make that substantially more so. If you're like a chill guy, it's not going to take you from chill to like snapping on people. But there are certain compounds that do make your tolerance to shit that you think is like annoying much lower. So like on tren, for example, I would have if my friend would say something that I thought was like dumb, I'd just be like, that's fucking stupid. And then I'd be like, whoa, relax. Like to myself, I'd have to like catch myself sometimes.
Yeah, well, that was way over the line, man.
Yeah,
So
I'd be like,
you could be in a scenario where maybe a waitress just wants to get your order cleared up,
He's making fun of me.
and the next thing you know, she's face deep in a bowl of soup, gargling.
I told you an even number of ice cubes.
I love
like,
I did tell her.
She spilt my coffee.
She spilled my coffee. Dude, that's one of the funniest. Isn't it a Canadian PSA?
Yeah.
You go on,
about
I
rage.
have people on my streams asking all the time, watch Canadian PSAs. I'm doing that soon. They're hysterical.
Yeah, she comes along and accidentally
She's-
spills her coffee on his hand. He just goes, she spilled my coffee. And he just fucking throws the whole pitcher in her face.
Okay, here
She's
it
just
is.
screaming.
It's 30 seconds.
Yeah, let's watch it. I love this shit.
It's hilarious. Dude, Canada, well done on the PSAs.
Oh, they're the best. Just like those cigarette packages. Oh yeah. All right. I'll get
So the
to
way
that.
we do this, Derek, is you pull it up and then Woody will count down 3, 2, 1, and we all watch in sync.
Yeah, we all
okay.
kind of queue up at 0.
So I'm queued up at 0, and it's on the word play.
God, my
same.
All right, ready, set, play.
You're doing a real good job on your pitching.
Coffee.
Please.
Please.
I'd like some more too, please, sir.
She spilled my coffee.
I'm sorry, sir.
You fucking bitch.
Whoa.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
How do you like that?
Ow.
Get away with it here. You shouldn't get away with it at home.
I
The
love
funniest
how
part is she spilled my coffee.
What's funny about that?
everything. Everything.
It just
Mom,
seemed
me,
like
dog,
breakfast to
word.
me.
What the fuck?
I love it. Like
What he's like, what are you guys
after
picking up on that
scalding
I'm
her-
missing?
I love it. After scalding her, he has to throw in the
slaps
fucking backhand to really punctuate the situation. And the kids don't even move. They're like, "Uh-oh, bitch! I've seen this play out before."
We didn't finish the weight loss pill thing. You mentioned the pretty extreme one. Is there something that people use? I mean, other than
Something that like only causes anal leakage. For
Right.
We can
So-
put up with that.
Let's say that discipline wasn't an option, right? So then what would you use instead?
Typically the progression of, let's just say, a bodybuilder peaking for a show, because that's like the perfect example of going from nothing to the most extreme of fat loss agents. So basically you'd start with, you're just at ground zero, eating whatever you eat to maintain your body weight currently, and you're doing no cardio. Let's just hypothetically say you're going to the gym still, though you're working out. So now if you want to lose weight, you have to increase the amount of energy you're expending. So you can either decrease how much you're eating, do
No.
cardio,
No.
All right.
or use
We need another
pharmacology.
expert.
And that's 3.
So
Give me a
typically,
magic solution that's easy and comfortable.
once people get to the point where they're implementing things for fat loss, the first one that I think is most effective, to be honest, is appetite suppressants. So even though they don't directly like rip fat off you, they actually let you adhere to the diet that would otherwise you would be cheating on, because it's hard as fuck to eat in such a steep deficit to get shredded. Like the willpower to get shredded is way more important than whatever like 5% extra fat burn you get from whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
appetite suppressants is typically the number one abuse thing. So that's like Adderall, phentermine, things like heavy doses of caffeine, ephedrine, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Adderall. That was the number one, because not only is it an appetite suppressant, but it's also raising your heart rate, and it's a stimulant. You're gonna like if you're you're like, I don't need 9 hours of sleep today.
Yeah.
Eight was too much.
Yeah. And it gives you energy even when you would otherwise feel like low energy as hell because you're deprived of calories, right?
Mhm.
So that is like one of the most heavily abused things.
You know what also always gave me? Have you taken Adderall?
No, I haven't. I've taken
Motive-
everything but that, like Dexedrine, Ritalin, all that stuff, but not.
There's
actual
no
Adderall.
other way to describe it than pure motivation. Like sort of a sitting and thinking about a future that where you're like, hey, I can remember taking it in like middle school and being like, I should go out I should play on the football team. Yeah. My life could be better. I could do this and that and this and that. And I'm laying in bed, and then I wake, and I'm like, "Whew, I took too much."
It's just
we're
like a
getting way too
coke-fueled
motivated here.
businessman
Let's
who's like,
bring it
I got an
back
idea.
down.
I got an idea.
Why
10
would-
business ideas. Tell me which one.
Why would your motivation be so focused though, right? Like I haven't taken it really, but I imagine myself saying like, what if my iTunes playlist had 4 different orders or like something dumb?
No, you would think, you would be like, iTunes has been a waste of my time and energy. That time could have been so much more focused. That could have been about something much more positive. I could have worked harder for this and that and this and that. Where would I be if I'd done this? Let's do this now. Let's start. Starting now. We've started. Like it's pure motivation.
It made me want to clean.
I've heard that
Cleaned a
before.
lot.
What about
I took my
Vyvanse?
television apart so fast.
My friend said Vyvanse.
Couldn't figure out how to
was
put
the
it back
one.
together.
No.
Do we know anything about Vyvanse? Anyone?
I
No?
think Vyvanse, Ritalin, Adderall, they all seem to be the same. Or
They're
similar.
all to treat the same thing, but they're doing it in different ways, I believe.
They're
Adderall is
significantly different. I think Adderall is like a cut above the other ones in terms
really?
of efficacy. Yeah.
Adderall has always been like the thing I was prescribed in middle school, and because they prescribed it to me then, I can get a prescription whenever I want. And like I take the quick release, not that extended release is
IR.
bullshit.
Yeah.
No, you want fucking let's go mode, like amphetamine salts, that little blue pill. 10 milligrams to somebody who doesn't take this shit is just gonna get you fucking rolling. We had a
Have you
friend.
ever done modafinil before?
No.
No. Okay. So that's like the shit that fighter jet pilots use.
Cool.
And it keeps them. It's actually, if you have sleep apnea, Woody, you can actually get prescribed this modafinil. So the only 3 conditions that can be prescribed modafinil are people with narcolepsy, sleep shift disorder, and or what is it, shift work, whatever the fuck. Like if you're a night shift worker, and then if you have sleep apnea. So
Woody's like, I am a bit of a pilot myself.
I can't spell
necrophiliac.
it close
I can
enough
get it.
for Google to figure it out.
let me.
That's how you know you're off.
This stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, we had a bunch of letters in common. Come on, Google.
I got the M. I got the M.
It also goes by Provigil is like the brand name, but it's like commonly referred to as the limitless pill in real life, you know, like the Bradley Cooper NZT48 thing. So it's really like, as far as things that get you for productivity wise, it's kind of like Adderall and modafinil are kind of like the 2 top of the top, and they both significantly suppress your appetite and keep you awake and, you know, productive and whatnot. But fighter jet pilots use the modafinil as well as, you know, like entrepreneurs and stuff like that. And it's pretty easy to get a prescription if you have sleep apnea. So just
You guys ever done cocaine?
No.
Me either.
Sick, dude.
I know at least 2 of us have. For a fact.
Oh, Kyle, you fibber.
Anyway, no, I would be interested to try that stuff, but Adderall has always been like I've told the story a bunch of times, but like I stayed up all night one time in a foreign city, foreign to my city, not another country or anything. Literally all night in this hotel with this young lady, and I had to work all day.
Like a foreign city could be 60 or 70 miles
foreign
away.
City. It was foreign to my city. It was Nashville.
The exotic Lexington, Kentucky, and just literally all night long, like 0 fucking sleep. And I needed to go to sleep because I'd been up all day the day before, like running around and going to strip clubs and driving for 15 hours or something. And I just took that Adderall and I had fuel to burn for the next 12 hours throughout that day. I didn't get tired. Like I noticed like on the far end, like after being up for what must have been 36, 40 hours or something like that in go mode, like I was having a hard time with my speech because I had to like do this big ad read that wasn't written down. I was ad-libbing this ad read for explosives, and I'm sitting there and like I would fuck up a word and I'd just be like, fuck, all right, roll it back, and go. And I was just getting there, just angrier and angrier and angrier as the cameraman was just, he's not gonna get it. But so definitely you lose some mental acuity like on the far end of that stuff, but you never run out of physical energy.
Lines can be tougher than people. I suck at reading lines. I know you said it wasn't written down, but to go forward and do something perfectly like that,
Mhm.
Everyone thinks they'd be good at it. People think they're good actors, but put a camera on them and they find themselves just not good actors.
Yeah, not everybody can do that.
If you guys want to try this is actually a nootropic formula I designed that's as close as you're going to get as like an over-the-counter thing to replicate what you would otherwise get from like smart drug sort of thing.
I get piss tested every now and then. I probably shouldn't be
do you?
taking anything. Yeah.
Okay. This is like an over-the-counter supplement that's just like I designed it based on nootropic ingredients I found worked when I was in university and whatnot.
So probably wouldn't run any. It wouldn't be an issue. For the,
$44,
Yeah,
you
like
dog. Yeah, I'm gonna get some of this. I'll try it.
Let me.
Yes.
Please finish.
Yeah, well, if you guys want to DM me your address after or whatever, I'll just get you out a bottle because I think you'll like it. We have a lot of people who game too that use this stuff to get like locked in while they're playing. And it's kind of like the legal version of what you could otherwise get from like smart drugs. And there's
I'll
actual
definitely hit you up with
there's
that.
actual ingredients here that are
Totally hit you
actually
up.
proven to improve like cognitive health rather than just like deplete the fuck out of like your dopamine system.
Yeah.
Well,
me,
I'll give this a go for sure.
Let me do an ad read. Tell everybody about
Yeah.
Blue Chew. Actually, that's the first one that pops up.
Woohoo!
Let's talk about sex. Good sex, guys. Remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get the extra confidence in bed. Listen up, bluechew.com. That's blue like the color blue. Bluechew.com brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know it's the real deal and it's the stuff that works. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as the pills, so you can be ready whenever an opportunity arises. Now, this isn't just for guys with a dysfunction. It's for any guy out there who wants some extra function and to enhance their performance in the bedroom. Blue Chew is prescribed online. It ships straight to your door in a discreet package, so there's no in-person doctor visits, no waiting in the pharmacy, and best of all, no more awkwardness. They're made in the United States of America, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than the pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit bluechew.com and get your first shipment for free when you use our special promo code. You're just going to pay the $5 shipping to get that package to you. Again, that's bluechew.com. Promo code PKA to try it for free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, faster choice, and we thank them for sponsoring our penises.
Nice.
Get yourself a hard ass dick. I take them every so often, I want to make it a special occasion. That's how I'm able to stockpile so many chews. So
I get 2 packages a month.
you get 2 of these a month?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I am Kyle is a prepper over there and I am dabbling. And you pop 1 or 2 of these bad boys and make sure you get the Cialis version. And for the next 36 hours,
Are we
happen
not
what may,
supposed to
you're
say
ready
the
to
C
fuck.
word? I think maybe.
No, it's
They
written right
say-
here.
Oh,
Yeah, they say
okay, I'm
the
sorry.
Viagra generic and Cialis generic, and they give you the whatever the medical name is. So tadalafil, correct, Kyle?
Tadalafil, yeah.
Yeah, tadalafil. That's the one you want to hit up. Get yourself a very hard dick. All the girls are going to be like, wow, that's the hardest dick I've ever seen. You're going to be like, yeah, and it's all natural. Don't tell them. Let
As
them
far
believe
as
that's
she
how you
knows.
are
Especially in a
naturally.
Walmart checkout. Good God,
Wow.
man.
Wow. You're telling me that? Oh shit! I almost made a callback reference to a video I watched today on my stream where it was this guy in the UK who has this neurological disorder where he orgasms 100 times a day.
Oh, no.
It sounds awesome, right?
I think I've seen
For
that.
one day.
No, for one day, but it's like following him throughout his life, and he's like walking on a golf course, or he's playing frisbee golf with his friends, and like out of nowhere, he'll just double over and be like, and they'll like, and the camera crew's like they're filming him, and he'll be like, oh yeah,
That one burned.
I just had about 9 orgasms right there.
Oh, my
And,
God.
and like, so it's not. I thought it was initially like 100 spaced throughout the day. Where I'm like, how can you get anything done?
Yeah.
It's like smoking 5 packs of cigs a day. That'd be insane. But really, it's like chain orgasms where he's just totally debilitated for like minutes at a time out of nowhere. He was at his therapist, and they're like, so how are you doing this week? And he's like, I'm doing pretty.
Oh, no.
It's like, and he's like standing up during some of this, so he's not even torqued. He's not hard. He's coming soft, like walking around.
That's what.
like, yeah, but I don't think anything is. I don't think there's any cum coming out. Like it's just like some sort of internal neurological problem that's causing this.
The
And he
dust of
doesn't
air.
do anything. I don't know. It made me sad for him.
I can't
So, like,
imagine
that
anything
sucks.
coming out even after like the
I
5th
know.
time in a day. You'd just be like in fucking pain at that point.
If there's anyone on earth who fucked up with a monkey's paw, it's that guy. I want to come 100 times a day. Bloop.
I mean women. I mean with women.
And my idea was like, and like you can't like the doubling over. It's not like entirely obvious that they're groans of pleasure. Sometimes it's a
Yeah.
little iffy, but you know he's embarrassed to go out. If when that started happening, he had instead said, I have intense bouts of pain because of a neurological problem upwards of 100 times a day. No one would be creeped out. He wouldn't be embarrassed to go about his life. All he would have to do is play off orgasms as being agonizing pain.
Yeah.
And then it's a disorder. Oh, did you hear about Ted? Oh my God, dude. That's horrible. The pain he goes through every day. I can't imagine, you know, prayers up to that guy. Oh, did you hear about Ted? Dude's fucking coming every 15 minutes. You can see that.
He has to wear special underwear.
That was
Yeah.
I don't want to wet myself that often. I know.
But he doesn't wet himself. It's like a neural. He's like not. My understanding. I never watched him change his pants. I
It's
never
funny
saw
when he's
any.
ejaculating.
Yeah, it is. But like, I don't think your body can make that much cum.
Get out of the pool, freak.
Do you remember middle school being like, man, how many times can I do this in a day? And after like a little while, it's computer duster.
Just freezing cold Freon going.
But anyway, that was a fun.
So yeah, check out Bluechew. Good
Well, that was
stuff.
more of a sad
Good
video.
stuff.
Yeah, check
It
out Bluechew.
absolutely
Give yourself
works.
a hard
It's
day.
amazing. Yeah. And again, always recommend it to Dialafil. I've tried both, and maybe some people there's you prefer the Viagra, but I do not.
Yeah,
We
Tadalafil's
practice what
awesome,
we
man.
preach. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is a trend body? I've seen a couple of your videos, and you talk about what people are on, and you're like, this guy has a stereotypical trend body, and I'm like, desirable? Like, what is trend? What trenable? How close did I come?
No, it's trenbolone.
Okay.
So basically, this is like it's considered one of the most androgenic of the steroids. So androgenic meaning like masculinizing, essentially. So the more androgenic, typically, the more like dry, grainy, and sort of like more tightly in some situations, like trenbolone has a high affinity to bind to androgen receptors. So like there's this theory that because there's a denser amount of androgen receptors in the traps as well as the delts, that people who have like overly developed traps and delts relative to the rest of their body are probably abusing tren in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And typically it's really obvious in individuals that don't have good bodybuilding genetics, because that one body part will overdevelop and then the rest of it will lag like significantly behind.
What are good bodybuilding genetics? Like what are some things we can
like anybody on the Mr. Olympia stage, you'll see they have every body part is massive, first of all, obviously, but there's no like, obviously everyone has their genetic lagging thing. Some people have like shitty calves, some people have shitty whatever, but it's like just the way the muscle is, it's like round as opposed to like it's like getting big is one thing, but then having an aesthetic muscle is another. It's hard to, it's a objective.
Like your muscle insertions, is that what that's called?
Yeah. Like it's sort of an individual question too, right? Because what looks good to you, to another guy, you might be like, that looks like shit. Like a lot of people on my channel, they're in the fitness industry niche. So that's why they're so like hypercritical of physiques. And that's also sort of why I'm like, I try to like bridge the gap between still being in the fitness industry, because that's where a lot of my followers are from, as well as having the objective, perspective of somebody who's just, I'm a guy who goes to the gym sometimes. So the trend look is more so obvious in somebody who has not good muscle building genetics and has unproportionally developed traps and delts compared to the rest of them, and has like a very grainy, like androgenic type look. It's kind of hard to explain, but typically the flagship marker is like, like if you look at Hugh Jackman, you'll note his physique is like crazy vascular, really like protruding, almost 3D delts. The traps are much more developed relative to his first couple of rolls, and he's obviously gained muscle everywhere, but you look at his back or his arms or any other body part on him, and it's just like complete lack of development relative to his just his traps.
What
and
movie
his
was that
belts.
in? Just so I could see.
Wolverine.
Yeah, like all the Wolverines from like 1 to the last one.
Oh,
As far as
that
the one that he
does
looked.
not help me. I don't know how many.
Oh, you mean like the one where he? Had
Yeah,
the
the one where you're saying like, oh, his delts and his traps were huge and his arms
Right.
look weird. Like,
Let me pull.
I'd like to see an
up,
example of that.
Huge.
Also, another thing: are there any single straight women at bodybuilding competitions, or just gay men and supportive wives?
No, it's it's kind of an interesting culture because it's like, just a whole bunch of fucking gearheads pretty much in a room, and they're all kind of like, women are getting with guys who are bodybuilders, and bodybuilders are getting with chicks who take gear and step on stage as physique competitors and whatnot, and they're mostly straight, I would say, to be honest. But
How's that picture? Does that fit what you're looking for?
Let's see. Yeah, exactly.
So I look at this guy. I see a massive chest, well done deltoids, even good biceps, but forearms that look like they belong to someone else almost.
His arms, to me,
His
are
biceps and triceps are like, look at his left arm. Like, you should get some like girth from a large tricep over there. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like a stick relative to the rest of his upper torso.
Like, his chest is enormous.
Yeah, so you
Shoulders
see,
enormous. Bicep, tricep.
Forearms are
much.
jumping out at me. Like, if you lifted that much weight, why didn't your forearms get some benefit?
yeah, that's part of it is genetic, but part of it is just like the way his body responds to hormones and the hormones in question, in my opinion. And that's sort of like, some of it is just sort of speculation at the end of the day, but it's based on, I've been through this, bodybuilding niche. I've been to competitions. I used to compete myself, and I've seen guys with shitty genetics who just like abuse the shit out of tren, and they have this very obvious look where it's just like Hugh Jackman, when he peaked for that role, just like cranked delts, traps, and then his arm is like a stick almost compared to the rest of them. So
Yeah, damn. Yeah, you have a very well-trained eye for this. Obviously, I wouldn't have picked up on that.
yeah, so-
Obviously, I wouldn't.
Is it when they look really dry, when it looks like there's not moist at all, and like when I look at his belts and
He
stuff,
looks
they're
thirsty.
He looks thirsty. Yeah, he looks like he's on a weight cut. Like the thing that I'm most familiar with is watching fighters pre-weight cut, mid-weight cut, at the weigh-ins, and then when they hydrate back up, for fight night. And he looks like he's mid-weight cut, and maybe like
he water depleted for that shot, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's his name? Who played Superman?
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. Yeah, he water depleted for that bathtub scene in Witcher.
Yeah. And he was I don't know if it really did him any favors though, because he just wasn't lean enough for that to really be any helpful level of adding cuts to his physique, because he's just like a bulky dude and he just bulks up for most of his roles. I feel like to him, that's one of the individuals I thought was natural, just based on his progression is very, like, when he gains weight, it's like a parallel increase of fat and muscle. It's not like he just unproportionally gains lean size like Chris Hemsworth for Thor, where he just exploded and he still has visible abs by the end of it, even though he gained 30 pounds.
Maybe you haven't seen the latest Avengers. That's a joke.
I know where he looks like shit in that. Yeah. But I mean, for the other ones. Yeah. But like Henry Cavill, yeah, he like gains weight, but it's like a proportional increase in fat and muscle to get that bigger look. And it's obvious in the shirtless scenes where he takes off his shirt and he's big objectively, but it's like he's like a bear almost, he has that natural, like he's like 20% body fat almost. His face is just shredded though, because he's just genetically gifted in his fat distribution. So that's how I see it. And when he did the water deplete, he had like no separation in his abs at all. So
you know what action star I can tell is not doing anything he shouldn't be doing. He's not on anything. Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal makes like 6 movies a year, and he's completely given up on any like his hair's fake. I think the goatee is fake at this point. He's 300 pounds. Like, he doesn't run anymore. He doesn't even do the run.
I mean, he's a karate grandmaster, though, right?
It's not karate. It's
Aikido.
It's Aikido.
Aikido,
Have you ever
that sounds
seen
real.
those videos where he just fucking like slaps people off him and tosses them to the floor?
I have seen all of those videos, unfortunately. Yes. It's impressive.
Kyle's a bit of
Yeah.
a scholar. In
I'm
this
probably wrong,
regard.
but I watched your video on. I'm terrible with actors. Who played Apollo Creed? Yes.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. To me,
Yeah,
he had capped deltoids and like a
He
trend
was,
look, and you didn't agree.
He was a really on the fence guy that I probably could have leaned either way. It was more so based on the time frame of preparation. Me presuming he hadn't lifted prior, and when you look at some of these guys and their response, it's more so based on have they ever trained before with weights too? Because there's something called newbie gains where you can get like steroid like results for your first year, even when you're natural, just because you haven't even been in a gym yet. So I try to take that all into consideration. And with him, it was really on the fence. And honestly, it could have gone either way. And that one was hard to tell, but he could have easily done something. The rest of them where I said they were natural, I'm like 99% sure on. But for him, I was like, I don't
You know what I think would be, and maybe you've already done it, I don't know, a good film. Like up until now, I've seen you do a lot of like individuals, like this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. The movie Predator, just the movie Predator, like from top to bottom, there's only like 2-3 skinny guys in that whole fucking movie. One of them Shane Black, and the other one's I don't know that actor's name.
That Asian
but
woman,
like Rodriguez or something. Well, she's not Asian, but the lady for sure, she's not. Absolutely not. They're in South America, home of 0 Asians.
Who am I thinking? I'm probably wrong.
Which movie are we talking about? Like
Predator.
19-
Yeah.
The original Predator.
1987?
Yes,
That one?
absolutely. You got Jesse the Body Ventura, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You've got the original Apollo Creed, the famous meme like handshake, or not really handshake. It's sort of like a no elbows down arm wrestle where Arnold's just like, "What's the matter, Dylan? Been pushing too many pencils." It's
Oh, is that the famous scene? It's like, Dylan, you son of a bitch. It's
Yeah,
fucking-
yeah.
yeah. The
Looking
handshake
good.
that like blows up the fucking universe.
And they just have
He goes, "Looking good,
enormous
Dutch."
ripped forearms and biceps.
yeah.
And
They do
they're
this
looking great.
mid-air like handshake arm wrestle thing where like. And like Apollo Creed's arm starts like going down and shaking. He's, "What's the matter, Dylan? You've been pushing too many pencils."
What movie is this?
Predator.
I've seen Predator. Yeah.
Yeah,
Original
it's the
one?
it's the greatest
Yeah.
action movie ever made,
Okay.
in my opinion. Jesse the Body Ventura was so jacked and so big that they immediately
Was I
moved-
looking good in that movie?
He was looking
Before I
incredible.
started talking like
He had
this,
been down in the
and my brain
Baja.
went fully retarded.
He had been in the Baja pumping iron with the cartel. His arms are so big that they're actually bigger than Arnold's. And so immediately they write it into the movie that he gets some shrapnel wounds on his arm. And so they're bandaged for the rest of the film until his death scene. Because they don't want his arms anywhere in the same scene as Arnold's arms.
That's
Good for Jesse Ventura. Well, no, it's not even a shame. That's a funny guy. He's hilarious.
Yeah, I like Jesse Ventura. He's fun.
I was a Navy SEAL, as far as you know.
He was a Navy SEAL.
I know. I'm fucking around.
Yeah.
It's because people like to give him shit online for not being a Navy SEAL.
Speaking of giving
It-
shit online, I fact checked. Kyle's right. She's from Guatemala. I showed her picture though. She looks so Asian to me. like,
Filipino.
No,
Asians with the
it-
Mexican last names.
it's Guatemala. Like
Guatemala.
Guatemalan. I fouled it up, yeah. But yeah.
No, I'm from a different country, Guatemala.
The lost city of Guatemala.
The lost city of Guatemala.
Yeah, that's what
Okay, what do you,
That's her most Asian angle.
if this is the picture what he's using, you've won me over.
all right, I'll give you a different picture.
No, I'm saying she
Okay.
looks Asian there. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's where
that's up in the air.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sort of
anyway,
a mixed flavor. I don't know.
I,
It's
um,
like 1/3 in that picture.
yeah, right. Anyway, Kyle was right. I can see where I got to where I went though.
In any case, that's a movie full of just super jacked dudes, none of which look natural except for, I guess, Shane Black, and just super machismo mode. There's a scene where they all are pulling a rope together shirtless to stretch a tree down. So they're in this full Mr. Olympia flex mode, like back is flexed out, like everything. When Arnold gives like military commands, like sign
Yeah.
language, it's always like oh, and so this is like, they put up the fist to like, all right, everybody sit still.
If we are supposed to charge forward, I will do a full back squat. And then
There's a scene where Arnold has to
do
squat a
weighted
truck.
lunges with coconuts.
Remember the prank Arnold played on? Was it who's the black guy? I want to call him Danny Glover. I know that's not who it's going to be. What's his name?
You're talking about Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Apollo Creed or
I
or
think-
the big black guy with the shaved head?
No, Apollo Creed.
Okay.
What's his name? Anyway, the plank. I thought you'd take over the story, but I guess he started telling everyone around the cast that he had like 17-inch arms or something like that. And Apollo Creed, I'll call him, knew that he had 19-inch arms. So he spread this rumor that my numbers are
I've
off.
heard this before.
That Schwarzenegger had 17-inch arms, and then he challenged him to like a bicep arm measuring contest. And of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger had bigger arms. The other guy thought and he would win and accepted the challenge because the number had been spread throughout the set. And then he busts out with like 27-inch arms or something, and he won.
27?
I'm making
20.
up all these numbers.
27.
Yeah.
That seems enormous.
No, Arnold. I want to say Arnold was like 19 3/4 or something like that at his best or something.
No, it was like 21, I think. He had like outrageously out of proportion biceps and chest to like the rest of them though.
But
No,
yeah.
we've been chit chatting about fitness and steroids and everything for a while. I would love to watch this clip of Trump being asked about if he's going to pardon the Tiger King. Get us onto some silly shit. You guys good with that?
Yes. Yeah. Always down for some Tiger King. I can't wait to see the new footage that comes out. Are we queued up at 0, everybody? Not yet.
1 second. I was just doing a thing.
I haven't watched this clip yet.
Also,
I have.
Shiz and Kyle suggested it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
all right.
If he pardons him, God, that'd be sick.
Yeah, give me a second.
Little attempt.
Derek, are you familiar with the Tiger King?
Yeah, I've been seeing it. Honestly, I haven't watched it, but I've seen everyone talking about it. So
Get on that
if
shit,
you-
brother.
Yeah, I know.
Hilarious. All right, let's watch this.
Ready,
Yeah, I'm queued up.
set, play.
One of the biggest rating hits of the coronavirus, aside from these briefings, has been a show on Netflix.
This guy
called,
can't help but
Tiger
smile.
King. And the man who's the star of this
Everyone's
is a former
smiling.
zoo owner who's serving a 22-year prison sentence. He's asking you for a pardon, saying he was unfairly convicted. Your son yesterday jokingly said that he was going to advocate for it, and I was wondering if you've seen the show and if you have any thoughts on pardoning Joe
Which
Exotic.
son? It must be Don. I had a feeling.
I had
Is
a
that what he
feeling.
said? I don't know. I know nothing about it. He has 22 years for what? What did he do?
He allegedly hired someone to murder an animal rights activist, but he said that he didn't do that, and he was.
Do you think he didn't do it? Are you on his side?
Well,
Are
I'm a
you
reporter. I
are you
shouldn't take sides.
recommending a pardon?
No, I'm not.
As a reporter, you're not allowed to do that. You'd be criticized by these. Would you recommend a pardon?
I'm not weighing in on Tiger
I don't
King.
think you would. I don't think you would. Go ahead. Do you have a question? I'll take a look. Is that Joe Exotic? That's Joe Exotic.
Let me get back to
Go ahead.
the coronavirus if I can, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. He handled that so well.
Perfect.
Right?
Don't change a thing. Yeah, no, it was fun. I wish.
Like, what do you think? What do you think? You think he did it? Are you advocating for? Yeah.
A lot of people would say it's not very professional to advocate for someone's pardon. These guys are going to have your ass.
That kind of shit. Like,
I wish one of the
Trump is
reporters was like,
hilarious.
"I'd advocate for a pardon because it's funnier." Just
Yeah.
yeah.
I wish get me in there. PKA correspondent.
From RSK News here, we'd like to posit a question to you, sir, if we may.
That would
Yeah,
be so fucking funny.
The 80s were such a great time for those beefy fucking like if you were going to be an action star, you had to be, it seems like Steven Seagal has always kind of been the exception to that rule. Like he was always in shape, I suppose, and athletic looking, but he was like the fourth rate action star behind guys like Arnold, Stallone, even Jean-Claude Van Damme. And then just you see the supporting cast of those movies, the bad guys were often the same group of guys who were also like these big muscle head motherfuckers, just probably Arnold's buddies at Gold's Gym. Like he's like, would you like a part of the movie? Yeah, you're jacked. Let's go. It just everybody was huge. I love that about those movies. I wish that would come back because I feel like now everybody's just sort of, I don't know, athletic-ish.
Yeah,
They're not
they were
Arnold
a lot
size.
more like liberal with steroid use in the movies back then. I think like they didn't talk about it, but I mean like they would sauce it up pretty hard, and it would be guys that were just like actual bodybuilders in their regular life that just got thrown into movies, even if they weren't like the actual most popular or I guess best actor for the job.
How does how does Stallone?
That's how the Mountain is. Like, the Mountain's not a bodybuilder. Thor Bjornsson or whatever.
Yeah,
but like he was a power lifter, and that's why they picked him for the Mountain. They're
Are
just
those
like, who's the biggest human on Earth?
he didn't have to
Doesn't
talk
need to
about.
be able to talk.
Yeah,
That guy.
How do the action stars of the 80s compare to the Avengers of today? Like the Helmsworth,
Way bigger.
the Chris, way bigger.
I haven't even
Stallone?
watched all those Avengers, but fucking Arnold and those guys in Predator would dwarf any
Stallone.
Yeah,
Dude, look at Stallone in Rocky 2. Stallone in Rocky 2 doesn't look like a human being anymore. He's packed on so much muscle on that tiny little frame like this.
talk like one either.
I think Arnold might like drag up the average a bit though, because he was so much bigger than everybody else. So like when I'm thinking, oh, compare the 80s to now, I'm thinking Arnold shits on everyone. But it's like I feel like if you put like Hemsworth beside like Stallone or something in their peak, Stallone's way more lean, but some of these guys in size are like not that far off. It's just Arnold and some of like the other bodybuilders that just blow everyone out of the water now.
Yeah, and like you always had to find a giant guy to play opposite Arnold, and a lot of, not always. And Terminator's a good example of they went completely opposite with Robert Patrick in Terminator 2, and with what's his name in Terminator 1. You know, those were just regular sized guys, maybe even undersized guys. But if you look at like the Conan the Barbarian movies, you always had some giant motherfucker opposite him.
Yeah.
Yeah, those pictures of Arnold and Conan are insane.
Yeah,
Like, he looks like an actual superhero.
he had to slim down for that because he couldn't do the sword work.
But
His
he
arms
looked,
were too big.
He
to
was
swing
too
the
big
sword.
to like swing a sword. That's hilarious.
but then you see what Wilt Chamberlain looked like, and he was ginormous too, right? Am I in the right movie?
Wilt
I
Chamberlain?
think Wilt was definitely in one
Is
of
it
them. It
somebody
may have been
different?
the second one. I know
he was
in
tall
that.
and lean though.
He was in Conan the Destroyer.
Yeah, it's the second one. Yeah, he's got that fur hat. He's the princess's bodyguard, looking after that pussy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here.
Is he dead?
I don't know.
I
Good
don't know.
question.
I don't know if Wilt Chamberlain's dead.
Yeah, there.
Oh, that's that picture. Yeah, I've seen this picture.
Yes,
before.
he is dead.
Yeah. But it
Died 21 years ago.
Schwarzenegger doesn't look that big when he stands between Wilt Chamberlain and Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
And Wilt
Nobody looks
Chamberlain,
big
Neither
standing next
does
to
a
Andre.
Volkswagen.
but look at Wilt Chamberlain's bicep. Like for a guy as tall as he is, it's still ginormous.
But look at like Wilt Chamberlain and Arnold are facing the camera square, so you can see like the full width of their bodies. Andre is just angled casually, and he's still wider than either of them. by
Andre
a
had to
huge
angle
margin.
casually so he could fit between those two trucks.
Yeah, you're right. He did. Yeah.
I love Andre the Giant. Oh, that's another question. Like the old WWF wrestlers, who was the biggest among them? Because Hulk Hogan was really big. Macho Man was really big. Ric
Wasn't
Flair
that guy
wasn't
he
big.
wore like a leotard that went over his shoulder, called something the Giant, a big giant guy?
Well, Andre the Giant was.
No, not that guy. The other one.
Have you seen
Big
the
Show.
Ultimate Warrior?
The Big
That
Show.
guy looked pretty fucking good.
Ultimate
Yeah,
Warrior
the
was huge.
Ultimate
The
Warrior.
Iron Sheik was big.
The Ultimate Warrior,
The Iron Sheik is hilarious on Twitter.
he was the one I like because he was
Yeah.
like a physique competitor kind of.
Yeah. So he was like, he's not tall as fuck, so he wasn't like just overall big, but his actual like development of everything was, I feel, the best of anyone, or at least the top of anyone.
Oh yeah, that's
Ultimate.
excellent.
Jesus Christ, that guy's
Yeah.
a monster.
Yeah.
He's so big.
This particular one looks like a
He's-
toy or
That guy
something.
is huge.
Wow, look at his nipples. Like that guy has some telltale signs of gear.
He's got the biddy.
Mm.
Biddy. You drink from that biddy, you'd get strong.
You get the runoff.
The guy, he's on so much Deanna Ball. There is definitely some runoff. You could lick his sweat and get jacked.
That's the origin of muscle milk.
He's so big. He's so big.
Yeah. If I was Hulk Hogan, I'm showing his picture now. I don't think I'd want to be in the ring with him. I think people would be like, Hulk, do you even work out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you
and
getting
this guy was probably like
or...
6'5" or something.
This guy? Oh, yeah.
I don't know. These guys are all enormous.
See, this is a little. Well, this is pretty early. This is still Hogan's like yellow panty career, so it's not that early. I mean, it's not that late. He hasn't gone into Hollywood Hulk Hogan mode yet. And I see he is in the ring with a fellow wearing a mask, which is also WWF style. So
that's the Ultimate Warrior. It's face paint. Is that what, are we looking at the same thing?
Well, yeah, probably. I was looking at the first one. Isn't that a mask? Yeah, that's a mask that the first guy has. But I'm with you. I'm with you. It's yeah, they're both very big. The thing about Hogan though, look how much taller he is.
How tall is Hulk Hogan? Like 6'6", 6'7"?
I think he's 6'7" or 6'8".
What a monster. And he looks like a child next to Andre.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever seen the WrestleMania where he slams Andre? He picks him up.
Yes.
I think you actually showed us that clip on the show before when we were talking about it.
It's not all that impressive, but you got to keep in mind he's lifting a quarter ton.
Right? It's like he kind of
put it like that.
Barely got it. Like, you know, he didn't lift him up. He just sort of let him carry through with the momentum. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was just like yeah.
He was the
over me, Andre.
over which the guy, yeah.
Yeah,
but
he played fulcrum.
But still, if it was me, the fulcrum would have just smashed to the ground and not done it.
Yeah, you'd been crushed underneath him.
Right.
And Andre probably would have been injured because by that point he could barely fucking walk. And he's like, I'm sorry, I can't get off of you. He's so fucking
Andre
big.
Schwarzenegger, I think, in that.
Yeah, I can't do a very good Andre. I don't know how. It's just super deep.
The only thing that sucks about looking like that is you look super impressive, but you pretty much almost guaranteed you're going to have like heart disease at 50 or something.
I mean, I think it's pretty well established that professional wrestlers live long and healthy lives.
Is he dead, the Ultimate Warrior? I think he might be.
Yeah, he is.
His family definitely is.
Probably
He took him out, right?
You know, no,
like
it wasn't him. You know,
I know that was Chris Benoit, right?
Chris Benoit. Yeah.
Yeah. We talked
that
about
guy
that the other day.
Yeah.
That guy went full force on his.
I'll
whole
say this:
family.
we talk about the heart disease and the steroid abuse. Ric Flair, 71 years old, still going strong.
And he was drinking 12 to 15 drinks a day or something absurd.
Some absurd amount of alcohol.
He doesn't try to maintain in old age now, does he?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, more so than like your average 71-year-old. Like he's not an average 71-year-old. Like he looks.
No.
But his face, you know, he looks awful. I'll just say that he's crypt keeper-ish.
Who looks good at 71 though?
Very, very few people, but he looks extra bad.
Okay.
Because for years he would do that. He would cut himself, you know, in the ring. They use this little. They hide a razor blade with just the tip exposed, and they cut like their hairline. Well, as his hairline receded, suddenly that mask of scars that he'd created at his hairline is exposed, and now his forehead looks like you took a cheese grater to it.
It's not far off from what he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chiz, do all hockey players wear those half masks now? Is that pretty much everyone's doing it?
Did you call me Chiz?
He did.
I don't know why he was in my head. I think I was just looking. I'm sorry. I was looking at the list. I just sent a friend request to Derek, and I looked at his name and called you Chiz. Taylor, do all hockey players wear half mask now?
It's now required. So if you enter the league at this point, you have to wear a half shield visor. But there are some guys some of them even as young as like 29, 28, who got grandfathered in so they don't have to wear it. The same way that like there was like a goalie in the 70s who's like, I'm not wearing the mask no matter what you tell me. And it's like just gore. He looks like a scary movie extra, like the henchman behind the main bad guy with all his scars. And it's like, dude, you shouldn't do that.
I used to see like 19-year-olds enter the league.
Terry Sawchuk.
And they look great. They look like professional athlete models. You know, they come in and they're all so great. And then you see like Rod Brindamore next to them 20 years into their career. Who knows how many times that nose has been broken in the face.
Oh, there was this defenseman on the Blues named Vince Dunn who like all the ladies were swooning over, and he's only like 20-something years old. And like he got a slap shot to the face or something like that, or a stick, knocked a bunch of his teeth out, slit his lip and things. And it was like literally the Fight Club version of like, I just wanted to destroy something beautiful. And now you can like tell that he has all those
Hockey
things.
is one of the sports where when you see them in person, you almost can't even tell that they're professional athletes. Like I used to work as a bouncer downtown where I live, and I was at this private lounge where we'd have the NHL teams coming to play our city. They'd come party where I was a bouncer, and I'd see these guys walk in, and I'm like, maybe 1 out of 20, you'd be like, okay, this guy's definitely a professional athlete. Just looking at him in normal clothes walking around, the rest of them just look like random dudes who you just. You know, like
other than the fact that no professional hockey players can wear jeans because their asses and thighs are too big. Like they look ridiculous walking around in jeans. But you're right. Other than that, like a lot of them look pretty normal.
Yeah,
like
dude.
Because like they prioritize speed and dexterity over. They have a cap on how much they allow you to bench in training camp. Like after a certain number, like Tarasenko and Reeves years ago. Tarasenko's our top scorer. He hit it. He's a monster. And they were like, no, you can't bench anymore. You're not allowed to bench anymore. Like any more than this is not helpful for your slap shot, for your wrist shot, for anything. How about you just squat a bunch and practice explosives? Like
it can be injury prone too.
That's true.
I think I used the term wrong, but you're with me. Yeah. If they just keep escalating that to where they're benching 350 and 400, they're going to hurt themselves.
Yeah.
Likely.
Yeah.
What do you bench, Derek?
Now, I don't even like check what my max is now, to be honest. I used to be obsessed with breaking plateaus in terms of, max out attempts and whatnot. I used to do at my peak was like 4 plates for a couple, which is like 405.
That's outrageous.
Goodness.
Now, though, I do way less than that because I'm trying to, even though I probably could get away with it, I'm trying to have longevity in mind in terms of not getting injured. Because in bodybuilding, you just need to stimulate. You don't need to like lift brute force ridiculous amounts for low reps. You need to, get in, stimulate the muscle adequately and get out. And ideally not injure yourself. So I do higher reps, lower weight now with like a 12 to 15 rep range typically for most stuff. So that's like on the flat bench, that's like 225 usually.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool, actually.
How many reps are you doing at 225? Just curious.
Like 12 to 15, yeah.
12 to 15.
Yeah. If I was when I could bench 405, I could bench. I think I tried doing 2 plates for as many as I could completely fresh, and I got like 30 something. And that was like at my peak though, when I was training for strength. Now it's like I'm so focused on like controlling the weight down, like feeling it rather than just like moving the fucking thing, which is what I used to do. And I would leave the gym every time. I'd be scared to go in and lift sometimes because I was lifting so heavy. I'd walk up to the, the bar to deadlift, and I'd have like 5 plates on it. I'd be like, I hope I don't snap my shit today. And then I'd do it. And then I'd leave the gym and be happy I did it. But I was like, fuck, like it was a stressful
another successful lift where I didn't die or ruin my back.
Like I was stressed out to go to the gym because of that. And frankly, it's kind of not needed for bodybuilding. You can get away with a lot less and just lift more reps.
There seems to be a wave of more intelligence applied to lifting weights than there was back in the day. People lifting a little smarter. Now, Athlete X is always trying to like smash your tiny little muscle group with 7 pounds or a broomstick or something instead of benching 400 pounds.
Yeah. Some of his shit is I don't know if it's just because he needs new material or what, but it's like, I feel like sometimes he makes it seem more complicated than it is. It's almost probably like how my content makes drugs seem more complicated than they need to be in some capacity. For him, it's like, oh, you need to be at this exact angle for this specific like rotator movement that you could otherwise just get on a fucking like incline dumbbell press, do a fly, do this, and then some push-ups, and then you're done your chest. So
your content would be easier for me to absorb as a noob if you threw in short little vocabulary help now and then. Like when I say androgen receptors, that's what this is. And instead,
you get some animation, and I don't mean like the scientific animation. I mean some fucking cartoon characters. Like I dig that a lot.
I've been trying to add in graphs and stuff, which I used to just like ramble, which I still do, but now I actually add in animation in some capacity, and I add in little graphs here with like, this is how much muscle gain, and it'll have like a picture of a guy and like a graph showing this many pounds and this kind of thing. But yeah.
My favorite part about your videos all seems to come from like an honest and sincere place. There's no salesmanship. There's no bullshit. There's no magic. It's just like, this is my testing. This is my results. And you know what? I'm not going to use this one again, or this one did everything I hoped it would. I don't know. It just like honest review is almost what it's like.
Yeah. Even if I could get like an affiliate commission off something, like I'll say if it fucked up my blood work, I'll show my blood work, and then people can make their own, educated guess based off that. And that's kind of like, I feel like the best way to approach it, because if you don't, you're just going to at some point lose your credibility. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, I'll just say what it did for me. And then even if that leads to less money in some capacity, it doesn't really matter, because at the end I'm building the brand that I think long term will have the longevity, because people actually trust my opinions. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
Yeah, I would like to watch Kyle's video of someone going off on a registered sex offender.
Yeah,
it's a really good video. Let me do a real quick ad read, tell the folks about Smart Mouth, and then we'll jump right into that. You guys are not going to want to miss this video. I saw it like 4 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, actually, and I saved it for the show, and then I lost that Google Doc, and I just remembered it and got somebody to link it to me. Everybody hates talking to someone with bad breath. That humid, awful smell, it keeps you from focusing on anything other than finding an excuse to leave. Now just think about all the times that you were the gross smelly one and the other person was trying to find a way to get away from you. You probably can't think of any examples, and that's because we rarely have an accurate read on our own bad breath odor. In other words, you could be walking around with trash mouth, not even realize that you're grossing everyone out. That's why Smart Mouth was invented. Smart Mouth's clinically proven 2-liquid formula. It combines to instantly eliminate bad breath and prevent bad breath from returning all day. Rinse once in the morning for all day clean breath, and once more before bedtime to prevent morning breath from even ever happening. That's the coolest part about this that I feel like I gloss over every time I tell you guys about this. You just don't get morning breath anymore. You never get it anymore. It's great. Just 2 uses a day, you'll never have bad breath again, guaranteed. Whether the boardroom or the bedroom, having confidence in your breath, well, that just spells success. Head on over to smartmouth.com/PKA for a free coupon. You can find Smart Mouth products in the oral health aisles of Walgreens, CVS, Target, Rite Aid, Amazon, Walmart, or wherever you shop. Once again, that's smartmouth.com/PKA for your free coupon. It really is great stuff. Big fan.
What you need fixes breath. I bet if you did an honest review on Smart Mouth on your channel, you'd be like, this shit works.
Yeah, it's excellent.
All right. Sorry to keep you waiting.
No, that's fine. I literally finished the ad 8 seconds ago or something. So yeah, I'm queued at 0 on this delectable video. This is some real justice served type shit.
Let's give it a watch.
3, 2, 1, play. Oh, he's beating this girl. That's not where I saw this going.
I think maybe you're on the wrong video, maybe?
Is that not a girl?
All right, let's start over. What you're going to want to go to the one that I linked?
Let's go back to 0 seconds.
Oh, I went to... I see. It's that.
My bad.
Like, oh, it was a lady sex offender. Didn't see that coming.
Right?
We'll do my video afterward. I haven't watched mine, so I can't verify for its goodness, but it seems funny.
I think maybe I've seen Kyle's. We'll see. Are you guys, can we start over?
Back at 0.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, play.
Pow!
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I've seen this before.
I've seen it.
Good for him, though.
Scotty.
Bitch. Let me fucking tell you something.
We told you
Fucking
multiple
creep.
times
Pow!
to leave them girls alone.
You're fucking sorry, motherfucking shit.
So the guy laying on the back is a registered sex offender.
Oh. I'm gonna fucking kill you,
And that's Dad, who's upset that he's trying to pick up his daughter.
And you know that bitch on the ground isn't calling the police about this. Well, I was trying to talk to her, and she seemed very receptive.
He's like, oh, you want your phone? Tough.
I know about you. You're a goddamn fuck bird. Did he
These
say?
are good slaps.
You're lucky I'm slapping you or I break your fucking jaw. You understand me? You fucking
Yes,
understand
sir.
me, motherfucker? I'm telling you right now, I know you're a registered fucking sex offender. Yes or no? Yeah. Yeah, you are. You're goddamn right you are. So what did you have to fucking say to my 6-year-old daughter? No one.
I like the quick oscillation between accusatory finger and open hand smack.
You don't know what's coming, a point or a hit.
Yeah. Keep the pedophiles.
They're both coming.
Not one of them was a punch. I could kill you right fucking now. You understand me? Yes, sir.
This dad should issue a little bit of corrective rape. Yeah, you like that? You don't, do ya?
Understand me, motherfucker? Do you fucking understand?
That was a good one.
That was a good one. He slapped the shit out of that man.
He did.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that immensely. I like the slaps. I like the camera work. The wife was pretty good. That's a 9 out of 10 justice served video, if you ask me. I enjoyed that.
It's a very nice justice served. There's nothing better than watching a convicted pedophile get smacked around a little bit, you know?
Didn't you guys have Chris Hansen on like way back?
Yeah, we did.
Way back in the day. Is he still doing his thing?
Is he still doing his thing? He is. He is. Doesn't have the same distribution that he used to. Now he's on to like YouTube offenders. And is he on True TV? I always see him like talking to Blade and asking about Onishi.
That's the last time I've ever heard of him was like, the Blade thing, sitting down.
Well, you know.
He's on the disgraced YouTubers now. It's a new genre.
Man, Blade, who got a worse, a more humiliating beating, Blade or this pedophile?
Probably the pedophile.
That pedophile.
Yeah.
Because Blade isn't a pedophile, and it's pretty humiliating being a pedophile. And getting beat up.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but they both had the same sort of, you know what, I changed my mind about all this kind of post-hit. Yeah, Blade got hit and he goes, you know what? It was my bad.
I was wrong.
It's like post-nut clarity. It's post-punch clarity where you're just like, oh shit, it just got real for me. Like,
I was in the wrong.
I was wrong. I was wrong.
Dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't kill me. Don't
Derek,
beat
you
me.
probably don't know this, but there's a guy named Blade. We all enjoy his company. Nice enough guy, but he's an alcoholic, clearly. And he was super drunk, and he decided to take it upon himself to do two things. One, he hit this guy's girlfriend on the butt hard. Kyle, do you want to go?
Here's the shocking thing about that, Woody. He slapped her ass after getting punched out.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, what?
Oh, the video was edited the other way.
I have done further research, and I have been informed by multiple parties. He did that thing where you slap somebody in the back of the head, but he did it to a very big guy.
This guy keeps a barbell in front of his living room TV.
Yeah, he's got his barbell in his living room, like really big arms,
traps and yeah, he's just
big guy who's probably working out 4 or 5 times a week. This alcoholic, overweight fella decides to give him one of those big brother slaps in the back of the head on a live stream, and big man stands up and pops him in the mouth real fucking hard.
Yeah, drills him.
He slapped his girlfriend in the ass like minutes later.
Yeah,
I
because
was
he
shocked
didn't
when I
remember
learned
the
that.
previous altercation.
Well, there probably was a bit of concussion.
What's the best diet for someone who drinks 1,900 calories a day in Jägermeister? What do you recommend?
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, the sugariest alcohol there is, I would imagine, other than probably Fireball or something.
Yeah.
I bet he hasn't had a solid shit in 5 years.
I would not take that bet. Yeah, I think you
Does
nailed
alcohol
it.
give you diarrhea? Is that...
Yeah.
Well, it's because he's not eating
excess.
food. He's just drinking. So like, there's no solid poops to have.
Oh yeah, because he's lost some weight. I remember I complimented him on dropping some body fat, and you told me that I didn't understand some of the dynamics of alcoholism. That they lose their hunger. What is the word?
Appetite.
They
appetite
fill up
is
on
what I'm
liquid
looking for.
and
Yeah,
liquor and shit.
they lose their appetite and just get into this kind of thinner but low muscle mass, unhealthy, different sort of body.
It's like the chicks who get like coke ripped, you know, they just like take coke and never eat, and they just get shredded, but they're like malnourished as fuck looking.
Tremendously unhealthy.
Still hot though.
I like that look
agree.
a lot. I like that look, that stripper look.
Yeah.
So I know we're trying to keep everybody indoors right now for the corona, for the coronavirus, and Kenya is taking it a little more seriously than we are. It seems, based on this video, that Kenya has conscripted the Maasai tribe to enforce the curfew for them. And so let's watch the Kenyan
That can't be true. None of that's
tribe.
true.
It's in the video title.
I don't believe it.
Oh,
Well, then
if
let's
it's
fucking watch it.
if it's in a Reddit title, Kyle, how can you disagree with that? It's right there on the internet.
If
It's
the
right
Maasai
there.
tribe is helping us all social distance, then
We
I
need
will
these
eat my
people
hat.
in Chicago.
Well, I mean,
All
it's
right.
not helping us. It's just it's just in Kenya. They're not hanging out around here.
Fair enough. I'm ready to watch.
All right, let's watch it.
Ready, set, play. Yeah, you see it?
Whop, whop.
Oh,
Maasai tribe doesn't give a fuck. That's
This
awesome.
dude in the dress is tougher than these other 18 people combined. He's like a sheepdog. Why is no one standing up to
Dude, this guy's cool guy of the week so far.
this guy hunts lions with his bare hands, Woody. Nobody wants any of that.
All he does, he's just running into crowds of people standing too close and swinging like a maniac.
He's got
Looks
like,
like that guy from 300 who's like tall as fuck compared
yes,
to everybody.
he's got like that piece of leather
am a genius.
barbers use to strop their blades. Fucking hammering people with this thick ass piece of stropping.
I will have
leather.
your name erased from the history books. People will never know you existed at all. That's so fucking funny. Hell yeah to that guy. That's going to be a hard throne to overtake for cool guy of the week. That's
Oh come on,
Just
the dad
because
being the
everybody else in
pedophile.
Kenya, they're wearing like 2019 Boston Bruins Stanley Cup champion t-shirts. He's running around in his dress, smacking people with it. Oh man, that's tight.
Yeah.
That's great. We need some of that here, maybe.
That crossdresser was clearly the toughest person in Kenya.
Hey, that's a cultural dress, and that guy, as far as he looked, maybe people in Kenya are short, but he looked tall.
He looked tall as fuck. He looked like he was
Yeah,
8
he
inches
looks,
taller than everybody else.
Yeah, by a lot.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how big people are in Kenya. I know they're fantastic runners, so I would guess very slight endurance heavy people, right?
Yeah. They used to do that endurance hunting way back in the day.
That sounds like the worst way to hunt.
Chase
Having to run.
wildebeest until the wildebeest tires out. Oh,
Yeah,
good God.
they would chase the game until the game died of exhaustion.
I would go
Sounds
hungry.
awful.
You'd be
how
lean
how
as
far away
fuck.
is food again? It's like
Well, it is right there, but we must chase it for 18 to 22 miles. Then it will die, and then we carry the meat back with us. It's like,
Ugh.
oh, can I just starve? just let me die. You know, I'm gonna eat leaves here and hope for something.
This coronavirus thing has really put a damper on all my fun. I really want like I have those cows over there that I want to slaughter Bessie and fill a deep freeze up with cow meat, but we don't want to go through the whole process of like going to the slaughtering place. We don't want to bump. I'm staying away from people.
Yeah.
I pay my
you
yard
can just
man
let
on
Bessie
PayPal.
hang out, right?
What?
You can just kind of let Bessie hang out for
Yeah, she's
probably
chilling.
like 3 more months or something.
Yeah, but I want the food now. I
Fair.
wish I had it now.
Hey Woody, are you dollar cost averaging into the market right now?
Yeah, I always do. Like but nothing's
Like
changed.
aggressively more so though, based on what's
That-
happening.
Yeah, that wouldn't be dollar cost. No, I have it on autopilot. Just-
Right. I just mean like if it wasn't like on a monthly basis, dividing it into like a weekly basis based on like, you know what I mean?
I think you're saying, Woody, do you think we're at a market low? Is the translation. And I don't get into calling the lows, right? Like you could say yes, right? I do see the same trends, right? And then I hear other people saying, oh, this is a classic bear trap. It's a little bit of rise before a double low. Don't try to catch a falling knife. And I'm just like, Docs, if I could tell the future, I'd be so rich.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
There's a
Bernie
guy
Sanders
that,
has really let me down. I can't believe he just dropped out of the race instead of like
Really? He did
grinding
it
this
4
thing.
years
the
ago?
rest-
I feel like he stayed in when he had less than 1% chance of winning for a month. Like go off 538.
The odds of Biden pissing himself and crying and or dying between now and November are greater than 1%.
what are you gonna do? Piss yourself, cry, maybe come.
So Kyle and I bet $100. Kyle got Biden and Bernie to be the Democratic nominee, and I got everybody else. And the only reason I haven't paid yet, it's payable at the Democratic National Convention, but the only reason I haven't paid early is I'm counting on both of them to die pre-convention.
And that's not I mean, the what is it? The Prime Minister of the UK or
Boris
Britain or whatever.
something.
Yeah,
Boris
Boris
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah.
He has corona, and I
He
was
was in
hearing he was like
intensive care
looking
for
really
2
rough. But then I
nights.
saw some post earlier today where it's like, oh, now he's not in the ICU anymore, so maybe he's not. I don't know.
I heard they're using CPAP machines as ventilators now.
I've thought that. Like, I wonder if mine would make do. Yeah.
Maybe.
It would have to help a little.
That's
Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I don't take it off right away. It's imagine being some peon who breathes unfiltered, unhumidified, unheated air.
I'm a bit of an air snob.
It's just like, this is so perfect. It's like
I can just picture you laying there like, loving it.
Yeah, I
don't know how I could sleep with that thing pressing into my. I guess you get used to it, but that seems hard.
It's pretty light pressure.
I picked Bernie and Biden against the entire field and Trump to win. That is definitely that was.
You're
going
gonna
to
be right. Yeah,
that was my call several months ago, and it's definitely where I am right now. They're like, Biden's leading by 8 points. It's, okay then.
Yeah, I feel like the polls now, and they all have Biden winning nationally, are irrelevant almost. Like, let's wait and see when these campaign ads really fire up. I want to see stuttering headed into the forest with dying batteries, Joe Biden.
Rapist Joe Biden.
Well, that is Bernie Sanders' problem, I will admit, right? He hadn't raped enough women to be considered for the presidential.
He was on the low end.
But
had I known, I would have done a lot more in the 70s and 80s.
But Biden and Trump, they're proper rapists, I suppose. So they're the ones we're going with. But yeah. So I want to see Biden, right, painted as this bumbling fool who's fading. And then Trump, right? We can take his coronavirus predictions of there's 15, then like magic, it'll be nothing. This is not a problem. Coronavirus predictions with like graveyard of people or caskets.
Oh, that's not going to work. His approval ratings have only gone up. Like he has I think he should have shut shit down earlier, but like nationwide, his approval ratings have gone up for his handling of Corona.
But his approval ratings are only considered good compared to his other.
They're higher
approval
compared to what
ratings.
Obama's were at the equal point in the presidency. I saw a comparison.
I could fact check that and then show you the graphs, but yeah.
No, you couldn't.
Fuck you. But yeah. If you look at like
things out there.
you can find a random poll or something but the truth is Trump, by and large, has been one of the most unpopular presidents in my lifetime. Comparable only to Jimmy Carter.
He has the highest approval rating of any president in the 21st century.
This is true.
On average.
There's no way to check that.
Did you see him wrestle Obama 8 years ago? Did you see the wrestling tournament, Taylor? That Trump won? Yeah,
when Trump
Obama.
was like, say uncle.
Ultimate
like,
Warrior
I'm not
was
saying
there.
Uncle. It's demeaning. I'm not doing that. Disappointing. He's got a lot more ass strength than you'd think. That golf's doing something for him.
He's thick around the middle, around the bottom. Like he's got
such a big fat ass,
big old booty on Trump.
That picture of him on the follow through of a golf swing and just his enormous khaki ass in your face.
Yes,
so funny. He's got a very pear body shape.
I wouldn't bet against him. I'm looking forward to it. If elections are always fun, I think it would have been. Obviously, I wanted Bernie to win, but it'll be fun to watch Trump beat Biden, and hopefully, Biden gets embarrassed along the way because he's senile.
Why do you hate Biden?
What?
Like, what is it about Biden that makes you dislike him so much?
Oh, I think he's a rapist.
Really? But you don't think? I mean,
I
he's
think
like
that Biden has lost his
1/20th of
mind.
the rape accusations that Trump does.
I don't think that's accurate.
No,
I don't think Trump has any rape accusations, and also Biden. We've seen him creep on these children, right? Like we've seen his activities. Trump is like
that's just
more,
game.
Trump seems more like a horn dog. Like
that's just good.
He's got fucking fourth grade game.
Like if you're like Trump cheated on his wife, I'd be like, I guarantee he did. But like, did he rape anybody? I don't know about that.
No, you can text me on this phone. That dumb bitch doesn't speak English. 8 languages, not one word of this.
You can grab him by the pussy if you're famous. They just let you or something.
Well, he's
like
describing a scenario in which they like it.
Like
Yeah,
it?
that was the most silly thing about that was like
He even said, and they let you do it. It's like, it's clearly a guy bloviating about trying to be Mr. Cool in front of Billy Bush. You fucking loser. Why? Why are you trying to impress Billy Bush?
The difference to me is that I've seen Biden be so creepy with children that it would upset me as a parent. It's like
Yeah, I have no doubt Trump was creepy in those like Miss USAs or whatever. Like,
I would be too.
doubt
I
about
mean,
that.
Teen USA, right?
All
Going
right.
backstage.
Miss Teen USA.
He went back. He went on Howard Stern
Age
and
consent
bragged
17.
about
Let's go.
being able to see the girls in Miss Teen USA.
How old do you have to be in Teen USA? Is that like 18 and 17-year-olds, or is it like? I imagine it's not like some 13-year-old trotting out there, right? I've never watched any of these
I think you're
programs.
right,
I don't know what it
there's
is.
no way to tell.
All
There's
I
no way
know
to tell.
is
And I
if
also
Joe
don't care enough to look it
Biden,
up.
if Joe Biden had sniffed the hair of the daughter of that man we watched earlier, he would definitely get a talking to.
Right?
Hey, what are you doing coming over here, Jack?
I hope that I would turn to violence against Joe Biden. I don't want him cucking me, sniffing my daughter's hair, or like grabbing my wife's waist in a suggestive way or something. Like,
the funniest photo of him doing that shit is when he's sitting in some pub or like a coffee house with a biker, and there's like a biker and the biker's bitch
Lady.
or whatever they call them in that society, and he's like snuggling up, arm around this leather clad girl, and then there's that guy sitting there in the booth just side eyeing him like, you son of a bitch, what do you think you're doing?
right?
Fucking senile little Biden enjoying himself.
It seems like in Biden's entire life, he never met someone quick enough to go to violence, right? If Biden hit that guy in the back of the head and got the blade treatment, maybe Biden would be a better man today for it.
Oh, that would definitely set off the dementia.
Would have knocked his teeth clean out.
Those
he would
teeth
go
are
full dementia mode.
bolted in there in a way that they're not coming out.
Oh, they're almost falling out all the time.
I legitimately think that Joe Biden is suffering from some sort of cognitive issues, and I would literally be afraid to have him to be the president of the United States. Like, everybody was like, "Oh, Trump, you gonna trust Trump with the button?" You didn't nuke anybody yet, all right? He seems pretty even-handed with that sort of thing, to be honest. Like, if anything, he's held back the horses of war. Biden really seems to be losing his shit.
Yeah, he doesn't seem very with it, but that just makes for funny clips.
Hilarious clips. I really hope they get on the debate stage together. I hope
that would be hysterical. I mean, like, Biden's got to be thanking his, or I guess his handlers are. He's playing with Legos in the other room, but like his handlers have to be like, "Oh, thank God, this virus is going to give us an excuse to not put him on the stage." You know,
Derek, do you
they're
follow this stuff
obviously
much
doing
at
that.
all?
Yeah, I'm in Canada though, so I don't have as like tight of a like grasp of everything, but like I still know what you guys are talking about for the more or less. And yeah, that guy, I feel like he'd get fucking lit up on stage if they ever had a live debate between each other.
Oh yeah,
like there's
for
just
sure.
no way he could hold his own.
I want Trump to put the children that Biden has sniffed in the front row of the crowd so bad.
Oh my God, you knew Biden would be up there. He's like, and my opponent over here, he does a really nice thing. He brought a bunch of cute kids up front. Some of them feel familiar, but yeah. And he's like, you see this, folks? He has no idea. He smelled that young woman's hair.
I wish he said some of them smell familiar.
Yeah. I can smell. Is that palm olive? Is that yeah, you're that tropical bitch. Yeah.
What a terrible human being.
No, you know, all of these fucking politicians are terrible.
Oh, they're all terrible. Yeah, yeah. There are very few of them with any redeeming qualities.
I'm just waiting to see what the next generation from like the millennials ends up being like, if it's going to be the same level of bullshit and just delusion going forward.
I think it's human nature. I think we've always been full of shit. I think if you went back to the old like Roman Senate, they were probably just as bad.
Yeah,
maybe even more pedo.
More pedophilia. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, like
that's their campaign platform.
Under a toga.
He's sniffing the girl's pussy instead while he's voting on a bill, and everybody's just like, "Oh, look, Cassius got himself a new one."
And yea, verily, I put to the floor that we should reduce the age of consent from 7 to 5.
Days.
Yes.
Tell
No
me, would you
longer
not enjoy
will the
a
law
younger,
keep the
lither
most
boy?
supple of Roman citizens away from the Senate.
Just a huge pause between the number and the fucking.
Tell me, how many of thine balls be heavy and full with semen? What better place than a boy's hole?
Jesus.
That was the
Yeah,
Greeks
so they probably.
more.
I wonder how much of that shit was true.
I'm gonna
Like,
go with
there's
all of it
no
because it
way
entertains me.
that there were just whole entire successful empires where they're just molesting kids. Well, I guess we're one, so never mind. I redact all of that. You know,
Wait, we're an empire that molests children?
I'm saying
Sure.
like the Epstein thing and like all that. Like, and obviously Epstein isn't the only guy. It's not like he got shut down and all the elites are like, oh well, shit. Like, where am I gonna get young pussy now? Like no, there's some other guy with another island out there, or some underground bunker,
Epstein
or perhaps a
Island wasn't
pizza
even that
place in
nice.
D.C. where they molest kids. So
That's real.
it's absolutely real, and there's no way to fact check it.
Not a bit. No.
Wish I knew how.
I wish I knew how to fact check Pizzagate. How much of a fool are we all gonna feel if in like 5 years they're like, yeah, the pizza thing was real? Like, everybody's gonna feel like a jackass. I don't think that's gonna happen. But
I want to
it'd be
say there was
funny if it
something
did.
recently about that where like one of the guys who was like front and center saying the Pizzagate thing was ridiculous just turned out to be a pedophile. It was just like,
Oh, I saw that too. The guy on Twitter, and his name even included like cheese pizza in it, like CP, child pornography, cheese pizza. And he was like leading the charge, like people saying
Darndest
absurd.
thing.
And then just a few months later, it's like so-and-so indicted on counts of molesting children.
it
So-
doesn't mean child porn. Cheese pizza, it means child pussy. You fools! Like, come on. Oh wait, are we live? Oh. Yeah, there's just so many pedophiles. Like you hear about like a ring of them getting caught every day. It seems like 187 international pedophiles rounded up today in global sting. It happens so often.
I wonder if it's like the underlying motivation to get into politics is because that's your like your
Or
way to get.
That's
you
when I became a
qualification.
priest.
The underlying qualification to get into politics. Maybe they're like, well, we could definitely help with your campaign, sir, but I'm going to need you to have your way with this young child.
It's like instead of killing a guy to get into
Go
gang,
ahead.
you have to do this
Go
shit.
ahead.
Isn't that kind of what Epstein's whole
started.
thing was to bring powerful people to that island and entrap them and then have shit on them that they couldn't deny if they went against whatever
I
he
have
was
heard
working for
that.
wanted.
Well, if that were the case, they'd have never let that guy live. Shit.
Well, they certainly wouldn't have let him get to court, and they wouldn't have exposed any records from the island, and they wouldn't have ever allowed those hard drives to go. And then they would probably,
Shit. I always go back to like, must be pretty good though, right? They're all risking it for the biscuit.
Right?
What is,
They're all risking it for the biscuit.
like, what is it about that child ass that is making all these people commit the ultimate sin? Like,
The
there's nothing
forbidden
lower.
fruit.
How young are the
There's
girls?
nothing lower.
How young are
Yeah,
the
nobody
girls? Are
dislikes
these
anyone
like
who-
16 and 17-year-old girls? Or
No, because
6
that's
and
not
7?
pedophilia.
Well, no, the thing was that like, or what's accused or assumed is that he would bring powerful people there, have a, let's say, 15-year-old there as a basic sex slave who looked much older, looked legal, and then film any nefarious activities going on between a powerful person and her. And then suddenly it's like, did you realize you just slept with an underage person? Really? Oh, well, I've got HD video of it. So you're going to vote yes on that.
Yeah, we're talking about like a
resolution, aren't you?
15-year-old Brooke Shields. No way to know.
No way to know. I don't know what she looked like at 15.
Brooke Shields
She
looked
looked-
18 at 12. It's one of her defining characteristics.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon. That I think was she literally 12? How old was she? I think we've looked
Let me
this
see
up
how old she
before.
was in Blue Lagoon. It was 1980, and Brooke Shields is.
Isn't that the movie where they had like actual naked kids?
Yeah.
How do you get away with that? That is
The
fucked.
premise of the movie is their family's sailing. The sailboat has some sort of problem, and they get cast away on this island by themselves. I don't know if the parents didn't make it to the island or if they died early, but the brother and sister become the only surviving members of this island, and they're like prepubescent, and they go through puberty over the course of the movie, and fuck each other and figure out how to survive. And it's actually a pretty good movie. It's been
she's like 13, 14.
13 or 14.
And they show a naked 14-year-old.
You see her bush, if I recall.
Well, that
her first role was when she was 12. She had the leading role in Louis Malle's film Pretty Baby, in which she played a child prostitute.
She was typecasted.
She was typecasted. I'll bet she was.
Well, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shouldn't be able to make that movie. It's a coming of age story. It's like, no, you just want to look at naked kids.
Did Weinstein produce this thing?
He may have. Who knows? His only redeeming quality is that I think his Weinstein company produced Lord of the Rings.
Didn't he
which
get
gives a lot
coronavirus?
of forgiveness.
I heard he got the corona. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he really?
I heard the Tiger King might have it too. I know they put him in some sort of isolation ward or something.
Corona
I hope the
in
Tiger King's
prison?
okay, and I hope Weinstein survives it so he can spend a lot of time in prison.
Okay. Yeah, a prisoner with coronavirus must instantly give it to everybody. It spreads via breathing, coughing. Like there's no isolation in prison, I think. Not much.
Yeah, I would imagine it's one of the worst places.
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. Yeah, and if you go 2 weeks without symptoms, you would bump into 600 people before they quarantine you. It's
it was I don't know, like 125 of us sharing 4 sinks and 5 showers, and 4 toilets. So yeah,
so you would have got sick for sure. Everyone.
2 microwaves, 1 ice machine, 4 TVs,
no hand sanitizer.
right.
There was soap.
If a guy shares that for 2 weeks before his symptoms kick in, and it's as contagious as they say, it would have to get 100%, like close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we're not in cells, or in my case, we weren't. So if you're in the top bunk, you're just breathing out over to like the cell next to you, and it would just propagate.
I picture cinder block walls like 5 feet tall,
Right up to
creating
here on
little
me.
little pens that there are bunk beds in. Is that pretty close?
That's exactly right.
How tall is the locker? Taller than the wall?
It's even with the wall, perfectly
Okay.
even with the wall. It goes down to the floor.
Like a high school locker, maybe, but a little shorter.
Actually, you know what? It didn't go down to the floor. It went down to about the shin. It was like shin to here. Maybe 3 shelves, like shelf, and then a bottom. And each prisoner had his own like locker for all your incidentals.
How wide is it?
I'm doing my hands. Let's say 2 feet wide.
Oh, wider than I thought. Okay.
Yeah, there was enough room in there for me to have like all of my clothes. Everything I had was fit in there pretty easily. And I had a lot of food and a lot of like random junk, toothpaste, shampoos, all my soap. Like I bought a case of soap when I got there. All of my like pajamas, shit, and extra greenies, which is what we called our like green jumpsuits that I never had to wear. There was enough room for everything, pretty much.
What color was the cool one? Tan?
Well, if you're working there was only one color if you were like going out into the facility to actually do a job, and it was your like uniform, quote unquote, which was like if they're really snapping the whip, like everybody better be dressed in green, and it's green pants and it's green button-up shirt, like it's heavy cloth though, and it was summer. So I mostly just wore literally the sweatpants I've got on now, just a pair of like gray sweatpants and like a gray t-shirt. Like that was what I wore 95% of the time. And a pair of like flip-flops, like Nike flip-flops that have those little like rubber pokey things in the bottom that sort of,
Orange is the new black. Led me down the wrong path there. I thought for sure.
It's different. Yeah. It's different everywhere. Like I've seen when I was driving through Louisiana one time from Texas, they had all the guys in pink. They had all the guys in pink doing road work, and it was like hot pink. It was very embarrassing kind of pink.
Sheriff
but I've definitely
Joe
seen
did
guys
that.
in
Arizona.
Yeah, he did that too. Yeah. Brown, orange. I think orange is pretty common too. Yeah.
Yeah, pink makes if you get over the whole pink is for girls thing, it makes a certain sense. It identifies this as not a normal outfit.
Yeah, you stand the fuck out.
Yeah.
The green shit, you wouldn't know. If you saw somebody wearing that, you'd think, he's probably doing some yard work today or something. It just looks like a work uniform that like a custodian might wear.
Especially the gray shirt and sweatpants. Like that's not abnormal clothes. Yeah.
Oh, it was absolutely normal clothes. That's what I would wear like 95% of the time. Like I wasn't allowed to wear that if I was going out into the facility, but I stayed in the dorm like most of the time. I didn't want to leave the air conditioning. Let me do the last ad read if he's stepping away.
Yes, sir.
Tell everybody at Postmates. This episode of PKA is brought to you by a company that we have a lot of personal experience with, and that is Postmates. You know what's great about eating your favorite things? It's your favorite thing, and you're eating them. You know what's not so great? Getting them. And the only fast things that deliver are not what you're craving. Introducing Postmates, the app that adds a delivery option to your favorite restaurants. Imagine anything you want to eat delivered. You don't have to drive, park, or even talk on the phone to order. Just download the app and order 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Postmates will bring you what you want within the hour. You can even see where your food is and track down that driver. Forgot to get your eggs or milk? No problem. Craving a tasty burger? Check. Looking for the perfect bottle of red wine or a summer beer? Order up. Postmates is your new long-term Munchies booty call. For a limited time, Postmates is giving you $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days. So to start this free deliveries, download the app today and use code PKA. That's code PKA for $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days. Save the hassle, get the food you love fast at Postmates with code PKA. They're pretty great during this whole quarantine thing. I haven't used them lately. Yeah. I've been cooking so much out of my like stored up like quarantine supplies, but the last time I ordered, I noticed that like the driver had like a full mask, gloves, and the food was all secured and like locked up tight with like these like stickers to keep the bag closed and everything. And it made me feel a lot better about about getting food delivered.
There you go. Postmates,
Pretty
a
awesome.
wonderful service for wonderful people.
Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, if you want to bounce, then we really appreciate having you on the show, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think I'm sure everyone doesn't want me rambling on about gear for fucking 4 hours straight and whatnot. So anyway, thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it.
Tell everyone everywhere they can find you and your stuff.
Yeah.
So you can find me on More Plates More Dates on YouTube, my website, moreplatesmoredates.com. My nootropic brand, gorillamode.com, and pre-workout formulas and whatnot. Pretty much just type in More Plates More Dates, you'll find me. And yeah, anyways, really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we enjoyed having you. It was very informative, and really enjoyed having you on. Thanks a lot.
All right, take it easy, guys.
All right. Woody, you're muted.
That explains so much.
Oh, were you talking?
Oh,
here and there. Yeah, no, but it's okay.
Shit.
You guys have probably been there too.
I didn't notice until he said it, because I was looking at him.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah. I enjoyed having him on. A lot of fun.
Very
Seems
cool
like
guy.
Seems like a nice guy. Not at all what I thought he was going to be. Seemed really.
You thought
really
he'd be
genuine.
not a nice guy?
No, not necessarily.
No,
I just thought maybe I didn't. He seems very intelligent.
Oh, I saw that. I predicted that.
Yeah. Very knowledgeable guy, and not just in his little realm of like influence or whatever. You know, had fun talking to him about 80s movies and everything else. Really enjoyed having him on. Glad he came.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You finished the ad, right? We got all that out of here.
All 3 ads, wrapped them up.
Hell yeah. I wasn't sure if we were doing another one.
Nope.
Right.
That's all of them. That's all of them.
That's all of them. I'm on episode 9 of Ozark now.
Oh, shit.
Have you guys finished it?
No, I haven't started it.
I won't say anything, but suffice to say, this season is excellent so far. Everything online that I was seeing is like the penultimate episode, episode 9, is supposed to be fucking insane. Super good. And that's what I'm going to watch tomorrow evening. And so but up through 8, awesome season. You got to get on it. It's great.
Yeah, I think I will. I watched season 2. Not as good as season 1, but still very good. So
season 3 is better than season 2.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, that's what I read online. I'm on the like movies and television and movie details subreddits a lot, seeing what people think about stuff, and always looking for something new to watch. But Ozark seems like the thing to watch next. I've been like rewatching a bunch of old Star Trek and shit like that because it's like comfort food, and I really enjoy those. Like I'm watching Deep Space Nine from the beginning right now.
Nice.
But
I've been doing that with Sonny, my little comfort food. I'm sure that's a comfort food show for you as well.
I've seen it too many times.
Me too, but I still love it.
We watch Parks
Same
and
with
Rec.
Seinfeld.
for a show like that. Parks and Rec, and there's another I can't. Yeah, I don't know. Old stuff is fun to watch again.
Community's on Netflix now. That's a brand new.
Yeah,
I've never
addition.
watched that show. I don't think
I haven't
have.
either, but it's got a real
I've
loyal
seen them all.
fan base.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
It's just a comedy.
Yeah, so it's a group of
Sitcom,
people
I
from
guess.
different backgrounds who go to community college and form a study group, and all sorts of hijinks emerge from there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I might
Yeah,
check. Chevy Chase is in it, so that's the thing that would draw me to it. So I might check that out.
Well, he's a very funny guy, and apparently he is tremendously difficult to get along with,
Yeah.
which makes him funnier. Is that like he's fucking Chevy Chase, and so he's not putting up with your shit, and he'll just be an asshole to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I don't know if he's an asshole in a funny way or just an asshole way, but that's the
Seems like an asshole way from everything
Really?
I've always ever read. Yeah,
Okay.
like Edward Norton levels of I'm a piece of shit. But
So I'm
I don't care.
disappointed to hear that about Ed Norton. You told me that recently. Like I didn't
I've
know
heard
he
that
was
too,
an
yeah.
absolute terror to work with. Otherwise, he'd probably be in more shit because he's great.
Yeah, last thing I saw him in, I think was Birdman.
Yeah, and that movie was good, but it wasn't. I don't know. It didn't blow
Dude,
me
They
away.
told us it was a 10, and it was really a 7. Like that's my take on Birdman.
Yeah,
it was
It kept me
good.
entertained the whole time.
I felt like it was missing something. I don't know. Like it didn't end with the message I was looking for. Or maybe I didn't get it. I don't know.
I liked it a lot. I loved
Okay.
it. I loved it. I rank it really high. Probably a 9. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It's sort of jerking itself off a little bit with the theater stuff, but I didn't mind that. You know, they're all actors who love their craft, and it's a movie to some extent based in a world of that. And I liked it. I liked his whole. I liked that it was a little bit like what Michael Keaton probably actually went through in his personal life, because he was Batman back in the day, back when Batman was whatever, and then in the 21st century, where Marvel and DC are these massive properties, and who's going to be Batman is a giant story, and he's like, well, shit, I was Batman. Nobody really cared too much.
Nobody
though.
gave a fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Which
was a good Batman.
Batman's- He wasn't in the Iceman one, was he?
No, he was in the Tim Burton Batman, the first one.
Who was the one that got crippled?
Crippled. Oh, that's Christian
Christopher
Bale.
Reeve.
That's Superman.
Oh,
Well,
okay. That reveals how little I know
Yeah,
about
Taylor,
superhero
you're
Christ
adorable.
almighty.
I don't know anything about superhero movies.
I know,
I don't
but like,
I knew one of the something men.
It's
got
like, well,
crippled.
Christian Bale gets crippled in the
Right?
third Batman
Yeah, yeah.
movie. So I jumped to that, but you're like, no, Christopher Reeve. Yeah. And look, wait a minute. He actually got crippled. Like
riding a horse. If people don't know, Christopher Reeve was into equestrian activities, and he fell off his horse and got he was quadriplegic, I think.
yeah. And it was
Mhm.
like, it wasn't even
Not
the,
Yeah.
it was like from like the top of his mouth down, or it was so bad.
it
He
was-
was so fucked up.
And also something about him, like he was like a handsome Superman action star. Like
6'4" or something, big dude.
it just seemed like a fall from grace. Did I say that right? A further fall from grace than it would be for like a regular dude.
Sure. If the guy that played Jimmy Olsen got crippled, nobody'd care.
Right. And he died early. I don't know how old he
died
made
in
it to.
2000.
Thank God.
Maybe.
Oh, these juxtaposed pictures of him as Superman and then him looking like Professor X, but dead.
Oh, Professor X. He wishes he was Professor X. He looks so bad. The South Parks with him in them. Have you ever seen those where he's sucking on the fetuses, literally to get? He's cracking
And he's
fetuses
getting
open,
stronger.
getting the stem cells out. Oh, those are
Oh
great.
my God.
That one I just linked to you. He looks like the guy from Hannibal who got fucked up.
Yeah, the
from
Verger.
electrocuting
Yeah,
his
Verger.
face.
Yeah.
Verger. Exactly. It's like just want to capture Hannibal and fuck him up because he ate my lips and I look like a retard now.
what an
Yeah.
8-year-old boy will do for a candy bar.
That's good. That's good. I haven't seen it long enough to remember the quotes, but that's good.
They would just do anything for a candy bar. He's just sitting there talking about his pedophilia, but of course he's got immunity. He's just sitting there
Yeah,
right
because
to the
his body's
FBI agent's
retarded.
face talking
Yeah.
about fucking the kids at his camp for children who need, I don't know, wayward children or some shit.
Yeah, kids
I can't think of his first name, but Berger. Yeah, it's fucking great.
Got a cool guy of the week competitor.
Ooh, I don't know.
Soccer
The Maasai
star.
tribe's pretty cool. We'll see.
Soccer star Kyle Walker caught in prostitute sex party amid coronavirus lockdown.
I'm listening.
Name's all clean.
Yeah, so he brought in a 21-year-old and a 24-year-old and a couple more. He paid them around $2,700, and they went down at it during the coronavirus breakdown. And what I enjoy is he didn't like deny it at all. He's like, "Hey, sorry, I'm being kind of a bad quarantine role model," and that's it.
I'm calling nonsense for this guy to even be like pulled in. Why is he in the New York Post right now? They got nothing to write about. Look, it's not like they call it a sex. They literally call it a sex party. You can't have a party with 3 people. That's not a party to me.
How many party do you need for it to be a set? How many people do you need for
I think you need 5 at least.
5.
I think 5 is the number.
Party?
For a party, you need at least 5, and that's not much of a party.
I'd say a party,
just
double
like
digits, a gathering, 9 or less, then a
torn.
threesome, 3.
5 people, I think I'm with Kyle in terms of a party, right? If there's, you can't have a party with less than 5 people. Otherwise, it's something else, a get together, a dinner, or whatever.
It's a double date.
But a sex party, for me, that number goes down. I think 3 people might be a sex party.
That's a 3-way. That's a standard little group sex operation. All right. There's nothing. It's not even unusual, right? Like 3. He's got 2 girls. Brazilian, by the way. I'd like to see these young ladies. I'd like to see these young ladies he brought on board. I'd be more worried about the Zika virus from them than anything.
Wait, there's 4.
Where's the?
It's Kyle Walker, a male friend, and 2 girls.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a sex. That's more of a sex party then. If we're swapping partners or something like that, I think that may in fact be a sex party. You swayed me. I've been swaying.
Okay.
I've been swaying. So I linked this. I haven't watched it. I don't know if it's funny, but the title stood out to me. It's Ugandan Policeman's epic rant on people roaming around. And if it's anything like Kenya's response, hopefully it'll be funny.
I'm interested. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
If it's not, we can quit it.
Ready, set, play.
Let me tell you one thing. I am not going to be nice to some of you motherfuckers. Listen to me. Listen to me. I am not going to be nice to some of you motherfuckers. Let me tell you. We have a pandemic. Coronavirus is a pandemic.
Okay.
Parents, can you fucking get your kids out from the street? It's fucking annoying. Some of you motherfuckers, you have your kids out there, and it's fucking 9 p.m. I just cannot understand what the fuck is wrong with some of you.
I like
For
this.
God's sake, some of your kids are there, they are catching disease. Some of your kids are there, they are distributing the disease. You fucking need to go get your kid. Grab their nuts. Grab their dick. Twist that nuts. You understand? It's fucking annoying. We have thousands of doctors that are dying for us today. Doctors are sacrificing their life. We have nurses who are dying for us today. Okay? So we have some of you motherfuckers, your kids are fucking at the park. It's 9 p.m. Some of you motherfuckers, you're having your kids. Your kids are out there at the beach. They're fucking enjoying it. Can you fucking understand? You have a state of emergency. Some of you bastards are out there. You distributing your disease.
Some of these words.
You catching disease. Can you fucking stay at home? Let me tell you, when you move, coronavirus will move. When you stay, the coronavirus will go away. Can you fucking stay at home, motherfucker? I just can't fucking understand this. Some of you are fucking distributing your motherfucking disease out there, bastards. I'm not going to be nice to none of you
He is
motherfuckers.
spitting.
Stay at home. Stay at home. We have nurses who are sacrificing there. We have doctors who are fucking sacrificing there. Some of you motherfuckers are just roaming on the street just like a motherfucker.
There's sacrificing there.
It's
Okay.
fucking annoying. Stay at home for God's sake, Jesus Christ. I just cannot understand what the fuck is wrong with some of you parents. Go and get your fucking kids. Wrap them on their nuts. Slap them. Beat them up.
Grab them and beat them up.
You know what?
Wait a
Oh
minute.
no!
Let me see you outside. I'll put a bullet in your ass. Let me just fucking see you outside.
Was his finger on the trigger? Did he have poor firearm safety?
Well, the gun was unloaded.
So what we've learned this evening is if we want to get this quarantine under control, we need some Maasai tribe Kenyans and some fucking Ugandan policemen.
To grab them by the
Bring them over here. Grab them by the nuts. Throw them inside. Yeah, that guy may have. I don't know. He didn't actually smack anyone. I'm still giving it to the tribesmen going around whipping people. He's still cool guy of the week, but this guy's coming
still
close.
like the dad whipping the pedophile's ass.
That's good, but just the sheer shock of those Kenyans getting smacked was hilarious.
I'm a big fan of the guy who threw the sex party during the pandemic quarantine.
Wow, we are split. A three-way split. Leave a comment below with who is the actual cool guy of the week. Is it the pedophile beater-upper? Is it the Ugandan policeman? Is it the Maasai tribe? Is it, what did you say again, Kyle? What was your suggestion?
His
cool
was
the pedophile whipper.
pedophile beater.
Oh,
upper.
pedophile whipper.
Mine was
Okay.
the guy who threw the sex party with the two prostitutes in
The
his
sex
buddy.
party guy. That's who it is.
Yeah, Kyle Walker.
I got some Patreon questions.
Oh,
You
yeah.
wanna ask us,
yeah.
you want to ask us some of these
Shoot 'em out.
questions? It's $10 a month. Just sign up below. We try to get to as many of them as possible, at least the good ones. Some
Along
of
with
you have-
video PKN and early sports and much more. Kyle, what do you got?
Mhm.
Some of you have learning disabilities, but
I'll
that's
suck your
okay.
dick.
Will you?
Sure.
This one's for Kyle. As a complete stoner myself, I'm curious. What your preferred way to burn was? I like the lingo. I'm a joint man myself. Definitely concentrate, right? Like definitely concentrate, like wax or shatter or something like that, off of like a titanium nail with a nice percolating bubbler to cool everything off. Maybe throw some ice in there. It's nice if it's 24, 27 inches long, something like that, because it is so harsh.
Yeah.
Joints, man. If you're smoking a lot of joints a day, you're gonna be coughing so much. That's so much like actual like paper being burnt and plant matter being burnt, like going into your lungs. That wouldn't be for me. Like I don't even like joints, period, because they can be a little harsh. Blunts are even worse, even more harsh in my opinion. Like I'm not opposed to either of those things, but if I was gonna like take a hit and be like, oh, I'm a little stoned now, but if you're talking about being like an all day stoner, that's kind of how you described yourself. I can't imagine being like that with joints. Whereas with wax, it's like I feel like you're doing less damage to get more high, if that makes sense. Like probably not good to put anything superheated into your lungs. It definitely isn't. So like the safest way would obviously be to like have one of those e-vapes or something like that where it's cool going into your system, or do edibles. But I like to smoke, and I really like concentrate, because you're getting so much bang for your buck, so much bang for like the discomfort, because it's pretty uncomfortable like taking a hit of that stuff if you're not really used to it. You're gonna cough a lot. Your eyes
Just
are gonna
glass
be
as a
pouring
whole
tears.
is the way to go.
I think you're all being kind of lightweights. That's why I inject my marijuana plants. And
Just fucking
throw them in the blender, put in the magic bullet,
throw
just
them in the blender,
grind
add
them
some
up.
water, put them in a syringe, and
It
do
looks like pesto.
hardcore. Yeah.
looks like pesto. Yeah.
You got that turkey baster syringe, just filling it up with pesto.
If you're not
Well,
doing
the risky thing about what Kyle's like,
injectable devil's lettuce, then
not necessarily risky, but like if you like, I have friends who smoke nothing but those like hyper concentrated pens.
Yeah.
You know, where you put wax in there and then it like melts it down and you take a puff, and they are like if they're at a party or something and someone's like, dude, I got a joint, or oh, I'm gonna pack a bowl with flour, they'll literally be like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna waste your weed, because my tolerance is so high that I would need to smoke all of that and probably 2 more to get where I need to go. And so that seems like for that reason, it seems like the optimal thing to do is just smoke flour out of glass. Like
I
keep
disagree.
your tolerance with it. I don't know. You know more than I do.
Well, it depends on what you're going to smoke, right? Like it depends on the level, how much you're going to smoke, because you do build a tolerance. It's most economical to be taking tolerance breaks for one thing. At least, maybe every 2 weeks, take at least 3 or 4 days off or something like that to kind of keep your tolerance in check. Maybe every month, take a week or 2 off, and you'd really be saving some money. But I don't know. It would you nailed it. What you said with like, but the same's true with the flour. Like if you just keep smoking more and more and more flour, you can get to the point where you need to smoke the entire bowl and then 2 bowls back to back and then 3 bowls back to back. And it's like, well, shit, 3 bowls back to back doesn't do it. I'm just coughing my lungs up, but I'm not even that stoned really. I don't know. With the concentrate, you're smoking like 90 something percent pure THC, and you can decide how much you want. You know, get your dabber and just put a you can put a fucking gram on that motherfucker and just keep going and going and going, and that's gonna get anybody high.
The look of a dab rig, especially with that torch on it,
yeah,
very intimidating.
It's a little intimidating
to someone who's like, yeah, you know, I kind of like just regular pot. Just,
yeah.
just
You were
the
like
regular kind, not the really scary kind with the torch.
I pulled out the apparatus and Taylor's like, well, could you help me do this? I'm like, yeah, I'll do the hard part.
Kyle literally did. We were on that trip and he pulled out this fucking, you know, Rube Goldberg machine that's to hook up. And I had to like have him help me out with it in Colorado, where I was just like, I don't know what to do, but I know I'm going to get, and it was one of those, I remember because you were telling me like, now don't hit this like you would a bong. And you started putting it in there and I started hitting it like I would a bong, and you're like, okay, maybe a little too much, then I hit that. And that was the hit that we went back, we sat at that folding table and we got our magic cards out. And that was when fucking maybe Chiz asked me what trample meant. And I had that like slow down brain thing where I'm like, it means that the damage runs over whatever the toughness of the creature attacked is. And in my head, it was like that slow. And then like a movie, like in Saving Private Ryan, when he's walking around picking up the arms and then something goes, yeah, snaps back to reality. Then I was good to go. It was like, man, that was pretty neat. You just have to push past
the beach.
We gotta get off the beach. That's what it was. And then once I was off the beach, I was like, okay, now I'm feeling wonderful and I can do what I need to do. But that was too much pot for me.
Yeah, it's real strong, and that's why it can be kind of economical. Like if you're not a regular.
I was high for 6 hours after that hit.
My tolerance was on another level.
I know.
40 minutes, and it's like, we really need to pack that bad boy up again, huh, boys? And everybody's looking at me all glassy eyed. No,
what?
No more.
Did we smoke 20 minutes ago or 3 days ago? I don't remember.
It's so fucking potent. You gotta be careful with it. It could be dangerous, I guess. I mean, you're not gonna like OD or anything, but
you'll
could have a
think you're
bad
gonna
time.
die.
Yeah. I don't know. I never had a bad time smoking it, but
people have a bad time with pot sometimes, right? There's such a thing as too high, which I don't get. I don't know, but it like sounds like too rich or too good looking or too high. I don't know, but
yeah, it's like that part of your brain that's normally like locked into the bowl of your cranium and programming things. It's like it fell and tipped over and it's dangling out the back of your head, and like there's just a couple wires keeping it connected to like your spinal cord, and you're just like now operating at 4% power. You're just like, that'll do.
Yeah,
that'll do.
I can do 4%. Okay. No, good comparison. It'd be like being too well. It's not as intense as being too drunk, but like being too drunk. Like
the thing about
I'm sure during a drinking episode in the past, Woody, there have been at least slivers of time during the episodes where you're like, man, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling nice. I'm feeling good. More of this would make me feel more better. And then another bottle of wine or whatever it was you drank that one time, and you were like, oh, if I could kill myself, I would. I don't want to be here. So it's kind of like that. Like
so
you're just way over.
You're right. There's a perfect amount of drunk that's just fun and brightens the mood, social lubricant, and everything's enjoyable, and boring things are more fun, right? That there's a proper level of drunk there. More drunk is also fun. Maybe you're sloppy, maybe you're being dumb and uninteresting to people around you, but you inside are having a good time. The problem with me is that more drunk also coincides with really sick. And I have a hard time. I've never been good at getting that happy level of drunk that doesn't feed into sick. even a happy level, I rarely ever spend any time in the good zone without finding time in the sick.
Well, it sucks for you because the only time you ever drink is when we're doing drinking episodes.
I haven't
and so
had
like I'm sure you
since
could
the last
you
episode.
could sit down and have a dinner with Jackie, say for instance, and you're having your chicken and you have a nice glass of wine and you have a glass or two of wine and you would get to that like, whew, I am feeling good. But you never experience that because you don't have to drink a third or fourth glass. Like all of your drinking is like, oh, Woody, are you in that fun time? Well, guess what? We're ringing the bell. You got to drink again.
Yeah, it's always.
Yeah.
You're in a hot rod. Just, oh, look, that was the fun time, man. We're gone.
Yeah,
oh,
right.
There it is up there in the rear view. See you
The
later.
show kicks off with like,
head to drop down.
Let's right off the top just get past Woody's fun zone, right? Yeah, let's all do that.
That would be a fun little experiment for you. Like you and Jackie buy a bottle of wine, which never happens in your home. You agree to split it over dinner and you just kind of see where you are.
We may have never purchased a bottle of wine in our married life.
Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. It would be a fun experiment.
I mean, it
Seeing,
happened
like-
obviously with the sponsor, but yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. If I go to an alcohol store, it feels like a sex shop to me.
An
Like,
alcohol store.
it's-
That's how you know when he's not bullshitting you. You call it the alcohol store.
Go to the alcohol store.
like
Whenever I go to the marijuana emporium, I'm just lost.
I'm just like, oh, there's all these like bad drinks around here, you know? Like, should I
That's
be
how I
ashamed?
feel when I walk into like Total Wine or something, and I don't know anything about wine really. I know that I like red more than white, but like I'll be walking through one of the 50 aisles trying to find a bottle of wine, and someone will be like, "Do you need any help, sir?" And no matter what I'm looking for, I always feel compelled to be like, "Oh no, I'm fine." When in reality, I'm like, "What does port mean, and where do I find it? Like, what color is that?
It means
What's a good brand
on a ship.
You know?" But a port is a dessert wine. You know, you
Ah.
have after dinner as you're
Thought
watching.
it was
Ozark.
the opposite of starboard.
So yes, it is a Starbucks.
I have another one. What piece of media that you remember very fondly as a child, but you've since revisited, only to realize that it's not at all how you remember it? Similar to how Taylor went to Chuck E. Cheese for pizza. Now, if I may jump in, because I've been considering it for the last couple of minutes. Man, there's a movie that I loved when I was 5 years old. It was my world. And that movie is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, starring Dolph Lundgren.
Seen it.
And what's her name from Friends? The brunette. What's her name?
Courtney Cox, maybe?
Courtney Cox.
yeah.
She's in there too. Yeah. Might be her first role. As a kid, I was like, I had the He-Man sword. And like when you hit stuff with it, it made sound effects like and He-Man would go, I have the power of the universe. And I would do that at 5 years old. I'd be on top of the dining room table. I have the power of the universe. Mom would be like, get down off there. And I'd be like, crack her with the fucking sword. I love that shit. Those swords were like sold out that Christmas. It was a big fucking deal. He-Man was huge. He-Man toys came before the movie, if you can even envision a scenario like that. They made toys and they were like, hey, we should make a movie about these toys.
Really?
Not the other way around. Yeah. So I went and I watched that shit like a year ago. I watched He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It is an abomination of a movie. It is awful.
Did you watch it repeatedly as a kid? I'm asking in a roundabout way. Did your parents have to sit through that movie repeatedly as their son?
Well, I had my own TV in my room and
okay.
VHS and stuff like that. And there were movies that like I watched repeatedly over and over. Problem Child was one of those. I love that movie about the little kid who was just being a real piece of shit. But no, and things like Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those are the ones I watched on repeat. This one I probably watched like 4 or 5 times a year as a kid, like when I was 5 or something.
That's
so,
not even
like,
that much for a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, like there are kids who like watch the same shit every day when they get home from school. You know, they'll rewatch the same movie 100 times. But it's awful. It's awful looking back, and I kind of feel bad that it's awful. I was like, I wanted to be as good as what I remembered as a 5-year-old, and it's just not.
Yeah, I feel it. Something for me like that was Blank Check. That movie. Do you remember
Yep.
Blank Check?
Yep.
Came out. I just checked. Came out in 1994, And so I obviously saw it later because I was like 3 years old. And when I saw that, and it was like someone gave, I have so few memories of the movie itself. When someone gave this kid a blank check, he took it on his computer and typed in like different amounts onto it and was like,
He typed $1
$1
million.
And then he took a printed out check with $1 million on it and cashed it. And within like 30 minutes of the movie, he's got butlers. He's got a fucking slide coming out of his house. He's got bounce houses. He's got cotton candy machines. And I remember watching that at like 5 and 6 being like, this guy's got it figured out. And then later it was like, wait, you can't do that. You can't take a check, scan it, put your own information in Times New Roman, and then take it to the bank.
It was like a very specific scenario that allowed that to go down. Like the account, like the account that the money came out of, they had like stolen that money, and the bankers were expecting someone to come and like get that money that day. They're like, "Don't worry, someone's coming to pick up the cash." And then this kid showed up, and he's like, "You?" He's like, "Yep, it's me." And he's like, "Sir," he like calls the guy. He's like, "Your agent is here. You're sure you want me to give the money to him? You give him that fucking money. I don't want to talk about this again." He's like, all right. He's just like, "Here's your $1 million, little boy."
But yeah, that movie as a kid was so cool because I remember in kindergarten, like $1 million to a child that's such a number that it doesn't make any sense. It's just infinite. It's infinite to a child. The same way that I remember talking to a couple girls and a couple guys in my kindergarten class. We're all fucking 5 or whatever. And a topic of conversation was like, do you think so-and-so's family is worth $100? And we'd be like, you think we'd be going to this school if they had $100 to spend? No, there's no way. Ruth's parents have $100, and they'd be like, "Taylor, do you think your parents have $100?" I'm like, probably not, man. 100, a full, like that's how how it is, like how money works.
No, that sounds a little retarded to me.
Well, it wasn't just me. We didn't know.
Well, when you're in the special ed class, I'm sure a lot of that goes around.
This doesn't
like,
fit
you think
this.
Your family's worth $100? Like, I'm not. I don't speak what you're saying.
Doesn't fit the question entirely, but Star Wars was the movie I came up with as a child. I remember Star Wars being about space cowboys, an action movie with sword fighting and starship battles and the womp rats or whatever that they shot. And his training, he killed womp rats. That's why he was so good at hitting the exhaust port on the Death Star and like a real action movie. As an adult, I watch it. My goodness, they spent a lot of time about bureaucratic inefficiencies, leadership being unable to make commanding calls, senates disagreeing and voting or something. And it's like the action is actually few and far between in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I won't shit on Star Wars for the 100th time. Everybody knows how I feel about Star Wars. I think it's bad. I have a different.
Something that holds up. I saw the first Lord of the Rings, I guess, when I was like 11 or 12.
This is 19 years ago.
Holds up.
19 years old, that movie. It's amazing. Have you guys paid attention to Valorant at all?
Don't know what that is.
I know it's a game because I've seen people streaming it, but I don't know what it's about.
Okay, so Valorant is a game. It's very similar to CSGO. People say it's a cross between CSGO and Overwatch because it's kind of cartoony graphics. And the cartoony graphics work. Like I'm not a deep expert in this, but like the smoke in CSGO has like funny edges, and sometimes one guy can see better than the other one. In Valorant, it's smoke, but it's very defined where the smoke starts and stops. It's like a force shield of contained smoke, and it works well for a competitive shooter where you need it to be really balanced and accurate. The movement looks just like CSGO. The crosshairs on the screen, it's precise. It's a competitive shooter. And it's big right now. I remember Kyle introduced us to, is it Apex Legends? Is that the game name?
Yeah.
And he was like, this thing is a big story right now because this many people are playing it in such a short period of time. Valorant has had 1.2 million people were watching it on Twitch concurrently.
Wow.
Yeah, and this, I couldn't find the number right, but I think someone told me one of the streams individually had 667,000 people watching it. And it was
these Asian streamers? Like, is it popular in Korea or something?
I don't know where they were coming from. It's in closed beta right now. So
Weird.
the only way to really learn about this game is to see other people play it on Twitch. You can watch.
There's 856,000 viewers right now on Twitch.
Yeah, that's really big, right? Like, what's Call of Duty by comparison?
So the second biggest is Call of Duty Warzone, and that's 129,000.
Okay, yeah, so 7-8 times bigger. And yeah, so it's just a big thing now. People are asking me if I'm going to play it. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's well suited. It looks like it's for people whose mouse and keyboard skills are elite. That looks like the kind of person who play well at it. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's in closed beta right now. They're just testing it, getting some feedback from the streaming all-stars, and it has everybody's attention. It may replace CS:GO as the competitive shooter for the next 15 years, perhaps. We'll see.
Well, there is one channel, I guess Summit 1G, maybe that's the company that made it.
Summit's a streamer. He's very popular.
Oh, okay. Well, he's got 271,000 people watching him right now.
Yeah, I think
Christ.
Is it? Yeah, it's made by Riot Games, who's made it. And a lot of people call it a CS:GO ripoff. I don't know if that's fair. All games are derivative of each other.
It looks a lot like CS:GO.
But cartoony, right? It's like an Overwatch CS:GO-ish.
It's a little more cartoony. Not like full on Overwatch mode.
Sure, Summit won't mind if we pimp his stream, right?
This guy does not need any pimping. Holy fuck.
I guess I'm just, we're going to show his stream.
4.78 million followers
Well, he's
on
not
Twitch.
actually playing right now. Like he's in a menu or something.
Oh.
He's in a menu. Yeah. And he's got over 250,000 people in here.
I'm going to see if anyone's playing right now.
That's not my cup of tea, as you would say. I don't really like CS:GO. I've never really been into that. It just seems like everybody else had such a head start on that game. I like when a new game comes out and it kind of does its own thing, the way Apex Legends and the way PUBG did when it first came out, I felt. And even the way Tarkov has seemed to feel. Like Tarkov's not all that different in the gunplay than a lot of the other games that I played. Like, if anything, it's much more forgiving.
I'm told Tarkov is a little Arma-like. I didn't play Arma, so I don't know.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Arma, and I played a lot of the mods, like Overpock and stuff like that. A little bit. I think the gunplay's a lot better, honestly, in Tarkov. Arma always felt real weird to me. Like, you didn't have good feedback of what your weapon looked and felt like with what was actually happening downrange. But having played so much COD and so much PUBG and even a little bit of Apex Legends, like the gunplay in Tarkov has always felt kind of easy. Not easy because everybody can do the same thing as me, but like not all that difficult as far as recoil control, because I've played some games where recoil control is so fucking hard. It's so fucking hard in Rust. It's so hard in Rust. That's the hardest gunplay I've ever had.
I feel like in Tarkov, it's not controllable. You can get a gun that has less recoil and do well. If you have a gun like a scav gun that has tons of recoil and blasts all over, it'll shoot across like 3 body widths, and it's not a thing that you can control with your mouse. It's just that wide. Are you disagreeing? I feel like you are in your...
No, not necessarily. I think you can control it to some extent, but a lot of the guns, no, you can't control it, and you're much better. Like you're much better off hitting the headshot with the shitty gun than you are trying to like control the recoil.
Yeah.
And hit the guy 5-6 times, because especially with those, if you've picked up a shitty gun in raid, the ammo is often shitty too, and so it won't even matter if you can control the recoil. They might tank 5-6. They might tank 10 shots.
With the low end gun, the meta becomes full auto is for when you're standing right next to him. Single fire is the only way to kill a guy from across the map, because full auto across the map literally will go anywhere. There's no telling. Yeah.
So, there was a. That's why PUBG.
I talked over you for a second.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that we're watching Dr. Lupo right now on his Twitch stream, just to give you an idea what Valorant looks like in case you've never seen it. And I was hoping that if I pimped him and said kind things, he would never copyright strike us. Go follow him.
Yeah. I don't know. That game doesn't look it's for me. In fact, it's just not. That's not something that I would enjoy. I'm guessing it's round based like CS:GO too, and maybe there's a currency system where you're like upgrading your weapons and gear as you go.
Yes, and yes, they made an interesting improvement to the currency system. Like if you're crushing it and I'm not, then we don't even need Discord. I can request a weapon, say, hey, I wish I had this, And you might say, all right, yeah, I'd rather have Woody with the proper gun than just watch him continue to suck and not help his team.
Yeah.
And there's shields you can buy, different levels. But on the screen right now is an example of what like a smoke effect might look like. You can see how it's really on and off, and the same for everyone looking at it. There's nothing subtle about where the edges are, and competitive guys seem to think that's a good idea. Would you like me to?
Yeah, it definitely is. I got it.
So we'll see if it replaces CS:GO. I think it has a chance, and I find it interesting that like. Am I wrong? CSGO is the middle of the competitive shooter world, and it has been for a long time. Other games have come and gone, but CSGO has always been the big deal, I think. And it might...
Yeah, there will be games that are like a big deal in my little world, but it's like, then you find out that, oh, this other game is 50 times bigger that you've never even heard of. It has its own little community. So I don't know. I know CSGO has been a perennial, leader as far as competitive and players online and all that stuff, whereas so many other things have come and gone. So I don't know.
These characters have different special abilities, kind of Overwatchy. And it's like, this guy does what? She has a bow and arrow that goes through a wall, or this person has that's so crazy. But they don't have grenades. And if you think about it, a throwable death that is a grenade is kind of a different sort of superpower than these superpowers. Just because they look cartoony with lightning bolts and such doesn't make them like way different than a grenade, for example. And the people who play it say they're ultras or whatever they are, the alts, are not the way people kill each other. If you want to be dominant in this game, it's about clicking on the other guy's head.
Yeah, that's what I saw in the little bit I watched just a moment ago. Right, excuse me. Right now, what I'd like to play is like a cooperative campaign. I wish there was something like that out. I guess Halo, the first part of that is out, but that's not really what I want to do. I don't want to replay something I've played before. I'd like a completely new thing. I'd like something that's either fantasy or sci-fi with some RPG elements and cooperative campaign. I'd like to do that. I wish Doom was co-op campaign, because Doom was so much fun. I beat it 2 or 3 times or something like that.
How's the multiplayer? When I last asked you,
it looks very unbalanced. So it's not even. So Doom multiplayer, you might think, oh, it's the Doomslayer versus a team of Doomslayers, and no, it's a Doomslayer versus demons, and human beings are playing as the demons. But
you have to try and beat a super powerful computer?
No.
One person gets assigned as the king, the god.
You get to be the Doomslayer guy, and then a couple of other players, they're playing as demons, and you're versing each other. But the thing is, the Doomslayer is incredibly powerful, and he has pretty much all of his abilities from the campaign. And the demons seem to be like powered down quite a bit from what they were like in the game. So you really need a lot of teamwork to be able to take him down. I think it's 2 demons that you're versing, plus a bunch of AI demons like mixed in. But I've only watched a little bit of it, so I'm not 100% on that. And it just doesn't look like something I'd want to do.
You think you're done with Tarkov? And you've been not playing it?
I'll probably wait till the next wipe, which I would guess is coming in a month, maybe 2. Yeah,
rumors too, but
yeah, I feel like I beat it. I've done everything I can do. I don't know, like if there were some accomplishments that I wanted to get, it was, I killed all the bosses. I've like killed them. I've killed Gluhar and all of his boys.
There's nothing new for you there, basically.
There's nothing new, and I've got so much money that like losing doesn't really hurt me anymore. I don't care if I lose or win. So there's no stakes anymore, and that's what really makes that game a lot of fun to me, is the stakes involved. So when the wipe happens and I'm broke again, and I've got 8 bottles of water and 4 PM pistols and a bunch of bullshit ammunition and like 1 backpack that I hope I don't lose, it'll be a lot more fun again. So I'll jump back on it when it wipes, probably.
I'm approaching where you left off. So are you level 44? Does that sound right?
Sure, something like that.
Something like that. I'm 42, and I'm enjoying this part of it as well. Like, the anxiety and the fear and the, oh my God, I hope I don't leave, or if I left with this stuff, it would be life-changing. That's kind of gone. It's okay to die now because I have enough money to stock the next character. And, I have 50 GPUs in my Bitcoin farm. Imagine it could run Crisis. And So money's not a big problem, but I also kind of like that. There's another aspect of the game where I get to play and just enjoy it and run good weapons if I feel like running good weapons. I can run any loadout I want. I can have a meta OP one, or I can do a budget run, whatever I think will be more fun or maybe more stream worthy. It's nice to play. It's almost COD-like, where deaths aren't quite as painful. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to the wipe. Oh, and if the cultists launch, if they launch a new thing, I'll jump back on for that too.
Check it out.
Yeah, if they throw something like big in, game changing in, I'll definitely come back for that. Obviously, the last thing they did was change the weight system, and I don't like that.
Right.
I think they're going to retool that.
I hope so. Weird how slow it is.
I'm excited for the fucking new Age of Empires to come out at some point.
Ooh,
that'll be a lot of fun. Are you being sarcastic, or would you play that?
No, I'd be down for some real time strategy.
Yeah, dude. Age of Empires was so much fun. Like, I can't wait for them to release.
When's it due?
One. It's one of those things where it was a year ago I was talking about it, and they still haven't set a date to my knowledge, and so it could be even late this year or next year.
Speaking of not set a date,
forever to release RTS games, which makes sense. They're really complicated.
They're huge and complex.
And they're I can't imagine how much went into making Total War Warhammer 2. It's just bananas. The amount of little stats and every map has to be kind of balanced, even though it's meant to be kind of random, like terrain. It's just so
I like
work.
strategy games a lot. And it doesn't matter if it's real time or turn based. Really, I like both. I love Civilization, obviously, and but I also love Warhammer. I love Warhammer a lot. And when we played Age of Mythology, I loved that shit. That was a ton of fun.
Age of Mythology and Warhammer have such good lore. Like, that's why it's fun. Well, I guess Age of Mythology lore is just ancient Greek and Roman and Egyptian and Norse gods and Atlanteans.
I don't think there were any Celtic stuff. Yeah, pretty much. No. That would have been a great expansion pack, though, to throw Thor and Odin and all that in there. Wasn't there?
No, they have that. It's the ones that came with it are Norse, Egyptian, Greek,
Norse is
and
I see Celtic.
Atlantean.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Yeah, Celtic would be whatever Irish
deal?
People believe in. I don't know.
Yeah, Druid.
Druid. That sounds right. Some
leprechauns, maybe.
I don't
a
think
leprechaun general.
Yeah,
maybe
they should have just thrown Christianity in there too. like build your Christ, get him in there, have him fucking healing your troops up.
Make all the
water. Oh shit! Samson's about to hit the right flank. And just
if you have Jesus, you don't need bridges. They just march across.
Biblical Total War. That would be so cool.
Moses parts the waters.
Yeah, he forces troops apart so he could sneak in a cavalry unit and cause some carnage. That'd be cool.
Jesus gets everyone drunk. People. You thought that was water, bitches?
Yeah.
We used to sing this song in Sunday school, and it was like, "Can your hero walk on water? Can he make the blind man see?" And I'm just like, y'all need to read some comics. Like, the answer is yeah. Yeah, you're an Aquaman, asshole? Come on.
Yeah. Jesus can't shoot laser beams out of his eyes.
And see him fly once.
Keep from getting killed.
Yeah.
So it's regular people.
That's the way it goes. Oh, I wanted to ask you this, Woody. So you always talk about your parents and everything, and you mentioned something about their. I think it was either in private or before mentioned their response to Corona wasn't as intense as you would have liked, like still going to church and stuff. Does that sound right? Or are they
they're
pretty
definitely
much
not going to church? Yeah, they're in the quarantine.
They're locked
thing
down
properly right now. Yeah, and they're not going on cruises or any of that.
Oh, why not?
They are exercising. They go out. My mother, I guess there's a park where she can sit on a different bench than a friend and get walk her dogs. And
we're on lockdown, and I'm sorry,
riding his bike. Go ahead.
We're on lockdown, obviously in Georgia, and but one of the things we can do is still exercise. So you can go jog. You can go to the gas station, the bank, the grocery store, the pharmacy, places like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so open that I'm just like, why don't you just lie? They pull you over and you're like, where are you heading? Fucking grocery store. Which one? I don't know. One of those up there.
The closest one.
Yeah, the closest one. You just drove past that one.
This way.
Their produce sucks. I mean, it feels like you've got it out no matter where they.
Well, we've got a Maasai tribesman who doesn't believe you. So
Officer Montumbo, we got a troublemaker up here. Oh,
what
you
are you
bastard!
doing up here? You want to grab him by the nuts and pull him back inside. It is after 9 p.m. What are you motherfuckers?
He was so stuck on the time of day.
Motherfuckers.
Why is quarantine more important than night? I don't know.
Well,
You know,
if
it's
they're out
kinda
after 9
like we're
p.m.,
getting
it's
to
got to be
watch-
recreational. I think that's what I take from it. It's like, they're not working.
Okay.
We don't
I
have
think it's pretty
electricity
tight, like
here.
watching our freedoms get taken away in real time.
That
Like this isn't coming back. Like was the Patriot Act, even George W.'s like, yeah, as soon as this is done, we're gonna get rid of this nonsense. No more of that. It's like, no.
That was the
still here.
first Obama disappointment for me. I thought that he would like reel back some of the surveillance that was in the Patriot Act. Doubled down. That was the thing I didn't like.
Yeah, he was the worst. He's like, I was looking at the Patriot Act, and not nearly comprehensive enough.
The worst so far. Trump hasn't reeled it back at all. It's getting worse right now.
I know. He should. He's not going to.
They're
None of them
adding
are
to
going
it.
to.
They're adding more cameras and facial recognition so they can track COVID patients, supposedly. They're not going to back it off if COVID dies down. There's no way.
Yeah. They're never going to eventually track people for their online activity or their beliefs or, things. Never.
Inconceivable. Right. Yeah, that won't be.
No, they'll throw that power away as soon as it's outlived its usefulness.
Yeah. And I have had this thought, like, it's almost good that it's a Republican president under Corona, because I just know they'd be beating the drum of how the liberals are trying to control you if the Democrats tried to quarantine you. Whereas Fox News won't say the same thing. Remember Emperor Obama signing executive orders? You never hear that anymore, right? Now it's okay to sign executive orders. We celebrate it.
I only ever really heard that from Fox, Fox clips.
But they don't say it about Trump.
But not for CBS, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, CNN.
I agree. It was just Fox fussing about executive orders. And now no one's fussing about it. If
they should be.
If Obama tried to quarantine people, they would go bonkers about it. So I thought that. But now I'm like, maybe we need a good bonkers every so often just so that rights don't go away too quickly.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like there's any good solution for this. We kind of... And there are still people out there. I wish that fucking guy, Bill Mitchell, hadn't blocked me on Twitter, because he's like this neocon fucking retard who was doing that thing where he was like, hey, and Mr. Medicare, his Twitter we should get him on again, because he's been anally following the whole Corona thing, every little step of the way as he does. And this guy, the timeline of his tweets where it's like, there's only 2 people in the US with coronavirus. We should be more freaked out about the flu. And then fast forward 2 months and he's like, okay, so if fewer than 200,000 people die of coronavirus, can we just agree Trump is the greatest president of all time? And it's like, how quickly you move.
Whether coronavirus was real or not was a partisan issue at first.
So dumb.
Yeah. And it was like, it's not a partisan issue. I don't think early on that I recognized how big a deal it was, but I'm not supposed to be smart.
Yeah.
I tell dick jokes.
I don't think any of us did
on YouTube.
But it's not our responsibility to recognize it.
Right. There were people who really knew. Bill Burr, North Carolina senator, selling his cruise and hotel stocks. It was their responsibility to sound the alarm instead of just dumping their investments.
Those people are not going to get in trouble. They should be in fucking jail.
Yeah.
All those politicians who were dumping stocks and passing little notes around to each other, they should be in fucking jail.
Most of them will get reelected. I think Bill Burr's not going to run again. It's not Bill Burr. What's his name?
Is it William Barr?
Maybe that's it. Bill Barr.
Or is that the Trump's new Attorney General?
His name is
I know it's not Bill Burr.
Richard Burr.
Richard Burr. Okay.
Made a mistake.
Yeah.
Me,
Well,
when I say a name,
it's okay.
When I say a name, it's a layup. It's meant for someone else to finish the score.
You knew what I was saying.
Not a layup, an alley-oop. Yeah,
it's like in volleyball. He's the guy that just goes. Toop.
Right. I said it.
What he sets? Yes, exactly.
I do the set. You guys do the spike. That's how we do naming around here.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
I was expecting there to be more early release movies. I kept hearing oh, this is coming out, this is coming out, this is coming out. And I keep getting on Amazon and scrolling through the movies that are available for rental. I'll tell you what I'm about to watch though. It's this Nick Cage movie. It's like Purple Aliens or something. Let me find out what this is called. Nick Cage, Purple Alien movie. What's it fucking called?
Yeah, there's gonna be some early releases, but I
Color
don't recognize any of these.
Out of Space.
Amazon Prime just released something. Now, I keep seeing it in Twitch ads. Is it Good Omens? Maybe no. Are you guys not seeing it too? Someone knows exactly what I'm talking about out there. Amazon is advertising on Twitch this new series to watch. I wish I could find it.
Yeah, I don't know. This Nick Cage movie I'm about to watch is called Color Out of Space. I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it's good. He makes so many bad movies that you never know, but I'm hoping for a Mandy-like experience. Definitely not as gritty and insane, but it looks like there's aliens of some kind, and people are going crazy, and then it gets bloody in the last third. I think that's the next thing I'm going to watch. Although I need to get into Ozark, obviously. I might.
Oh yeah, Ozark is sick.
I might try to get that under my belt before next week's show, so we can discuss it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you tear through shows, so you could definitely do it.
Yeah, not a lot going on.
Yeah, I kind of got nothing but time here.
Yeah, the yard guy's coming to cut my grass tomorrow. I was like, could you come tomorrow? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, it'd be nice to see you.
You won't see me. I'll wait from inside.
I'll be peering through the blinds after I pay you on PayPal.
You got like a broomstick holding it away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so worried about getting this thing and like having a poor reaction to it. Yeah, because like I don't want to get it because then I've got to be quarantined from my fam. I'm hoping as soon as this thing's over, I haven't seen my dad in like a couple months now. I miss him. I want to hang out with him. I like having him come out here and spend the weekend, at least once a month, and we usually watch a UFC event, and I cook a dinner, and we have a good time hanging out together. So I haven't been able to do that, but I would hate to get this thing and like be in the hospital, like potentially, like maybe I'm Idris Elba, right? And I'm just like, I got the sniffles a little, or maybe I'm like one of those like Olympic athletes that's got this thing, and it's like, oh yeah, he's lost 25% of his lung function. He'll never jog again.
Yeah, maybe you're Boris Johnson in the ICU. Yeah, you don't want.
Yeah, you never know how you're going to react to this thing. It seems hit or miss. It seems like there's definitely something different about some people. I don't know if it's your immune system or your general health.
Have you watched much Chris Cuomo?
Yeah, Cuomo's doing a great job, I think, at what he's doing. His press conferences seem quite informative.
You might be thinking of his brother Andrew.
Brother. Yeah.
So he is getting good reviews, but Chris is the reporter on CNN. So they're brothers, and Chris is now quarantined in his house. He has coronavirus.
Yeah.
And he's kind of been detailing what his experience with corona has been. When I see Chris, he looks really good. He's like a really fit guy if people don't know him. He's older than me, but he's fitter than me. And so he looks good, but he's like, man, I learned what rigors are. It's spelled R-I-G-O-R-S, like it'd be riggers. But it's this when you're freezing cold, but your body's hot and your teeth are chattering from a flu.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that. Yeah.
He chipped a tooth. He chattered so much.
Jeez.
Right? I like you, I was like, sure, I know what that is. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
How violent is it when you fucking break teeth from these rigors?
Violent enough to get great ratings.
And he did it. He looks good, and he's like, the beast comes out at night. At night is when he suffers the most. And apparently
that's how the flu is.
He's going to be okay, but it was a rough experience for him. I don't want that. That sounds awful.
Has he been getting in the sauna like Rogan told us? Getting those shock proteins?
I don't think so.
Well, there you go.
Look, I've been eating 18 pounds of elk a day. I take 4 to 5 saunas an hour.
Does it make you aggressive, Kyle? Does it make
I'm so aggressive. I'm so aggressive. I raped a mailbox yesterday. All right. I'm incredibly aggressive. It wasn't even my mailbox. Sorry, neighbors. I sauna continuously. I stay in this room right now, 145 degrees. You can't tell.
145 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm cooking slowly, low and slow. Yeah.
How hot is this sauna?
I don't know.
I don't know. How hot
I
is
would
a
guess
hot tub?
120, 125. Hot tub is like 104 tops.
Really?
No, you can get higher than that.
Not on the hot tubs that I've owned. It locks it at like 104, maybe 105. but definitely not 106.
Yeah, I've definitely been 110 in hot tubs.
Whew. I get into 105 and I'm like, oh fuck.
I have no idea. I just thought it was hotter. I thought it was like 120 or something. Like, I don't know. I've never.
When
owned
would you
one.
start to cook? Like
Right?
180?
It depends if you stayed in there long enough. I don't think it'd have to be 180. Like I think my slow cooker, like when I put it on low and slow and like cook a pot roast for 8 hours, I can still stick my finger in there for a second. You know, it's just, and it reminds me of a hot tub a little bit. I don't know.
I feel like
So
in
you
a
just
hot
sit there,
tub.
you fall asleep, and you're just sloughing off into a stew.
Ooh, that'd be so gross. I've
that
had
would
so
be
many
gross.
hot tub incidents. I got in that thing with I just had gotten a brand new, like nice, I use Androids because I prefer them, but I had gotten a nice Android. I don't remember which one. Don't ask me. Maybe the S8 Edge when it first came out, something like that. Expensive-ish, like more than 500, less than $1,000. And I hopped into the hot tub. And like when I would get in the hot tub, I had a whole process, right? Like I want my accessories. I'd have a laptop set up so I could watch some
Need your
Netflix.
tools. Yeah, for sure.
I'd have like not just a glass of whatever I was drinking, but like I'd bring a pitcher so I wouldn't have to get back out. Like not necessarily beer or anything, but like whatever, like Diet
Yeah, a ton of
Pepsis.
water, something.
Yeah, water. I wanted to stay hydrated. I'm in here for the long haul. I got my phone. I got some weed. I got my lighter. I got a towel or 2 towels. I'm keeping my hands dry so I can keep operating the weed. I get in and I'm getting my accessories set up. We had a really nice hot tub. It's like a 6 or 8 person. I don't remember. Getting situated, got my fucking tunes on, got Netflix propped up, and I'm like, all right, now let me get my phone out so I know if anybody wants to. Oh God, no! It's in my pocket. It's in my pocket, and I've been sitting in the hot tub for at least a good minute or two, and I
So
just
it's
pull
done.
it. It's completely ruined. Completely ruined.
I've done that. Yeah.
Very upsetting.
Similar thing. I was I was in the gym working out, home gym working out, and then I like to go straight from there to the pool. There's this like I'm just beat, exhausted. I do legs at the end, and I can hardly move, and I just kind of tip over into the pool, and the splash is rejuvenating. And for whatever reason, that day I was like you can sort of like stir the bottom with your hands and make it cloudy, make it pool cleaner, make the filter catch what would otherwise settle. I did that for like 10 minutes and realized I had my phone the whole time. Yeah, it's not even a close call. This fucker's done.
Yeah, I didn't bother doing any of the standard like, oh, let's take the battery out, throw it in a bucket of rice. It's like, all right, well, let me just throw this in the trash can. All right, it's in there. And tomorrow we're going to the phone store.
If you go to the Apple store, they're like, oh, we see by this like color-coded something. This has been exposed to water, hasn't it? I'm like, maybe a little. Yeah.
It was a little humid, I guess.
It's not covered by Apple Care. So
they should waterproof phones. Like that's the
are
next
now.
technological step. I bet there are phones that are water resistant. I should be able to go scuba diving with that motherfucker.
Scuba diving's a lot, but
Give me 10 meters.
There's a code, I forget what it is, like IPC7 or something. And Samsung used to advertise their
You
phones
do not ask about scuba diving.
in a fish tank. They put it and you'd see the bubbles come up and the fish swimming around it. It was that level of waterproof. And now the new iPhones meet that same level. So if you jump in and realize you have it, you're probably okay. That's I don't know what just happened. Did you just play music, Taylor?
No.
Oh, could
I didn't hear a thing.
Something in my browser then. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
something
malware.
auto-played. Anyway, something now if you just notice it quickly after you jump in, you're okay. Otherwise, you're not. Was it you, Kyle? I saw that look.
I didn't touch a thing. I like my hands are up. You can't
No
hear
one
anything
heard?
anyway because I use both cups.
I didn't hear anything. Like no sound came out of mine.
I
I was
didn't
looking
hear
at
a
a
thing.
tweet that came from
It sounded
CNN.
like it was native.
It-
I think I did it. I'm sorry. Tell your story.
Oh no, it's not even a story. It was just CNN. I saw a tweet and I was scrolling to look at it. It was like 104-year-old man survives coronavirus. Interview here, and you just see a guy who's just wasting away in a mask, sitting there, and you know
I was
his thought
hoping
is
it would
like,
take me.
Why not
God,
me,
his thumb just
God?
nose at me again.
Why not me?
God forgot about me.
My wife died in 1979 of old age.
I don't know why.
Do you
that's
know
so
what it's
funny.
like to live 40 years alone? It's pretty tits the first 30, but Christ, it's gotten horrible.
I like
I've been
living
fucked
alone.
since for the
You like
Beatles
living
were
alone?
popular.
I've never understood those people who get lonely or homesick. And don't get me wrong, I've got a
Okay.
strong connection to a lot of my family. Yeah, like I really like hanging out with them and being with other people and hanging out in person with people and going on all sorts of little activities and adventures. I like doing stuff. I do. I would consider myself not an introvert necessarily or an extrovert.
You're like an
I'm somewhere in the
extrovert
middle.
by choice, right?
Sure.
You enjoy both the extremes, maybe.
Yeah, I really do. I really do enjoy both of the extremes. But like I've never experienced loneliness while living alone for extended periods of time, like months. And I've like there was a time like during there was a time when they were trying to like drag Kitty into my legal stuff, all because she made soaps in the basement. And they were trying to act like she was some sort of goddamn distribution network. And to an extent, that's how they got me to agree to the plea deal that I agreed to. Is like I didn't want them dragging her into any of my stuff because it was bullshit. It's like I'm a guy who smokes a little weed. I'm not a fucking like drug dealer. I've never sold weed. I've never shipped it or trafficked it or any of that fucking nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So like shit, I lost my train of thought. Help me back. Get me back on the
Kitty
course.
being alone, loneliness, extrovert extremes, introvert.
Oh, so like to distance myself from her so that she would be less apt to get drug into my nonsense. I knew that I couldn't live with her after she moved to Atlanta. So I moved out of that place. And you probably noticed on PKA, I was like hopping around. Like I'd be at one place for like 2 weeks and then I'd be in another place. And you were like, where are you at now, Kyle? And I was just like, I'm adventuring.
I'm in a different room of the same house.
I'm adventuring. Pay no attention to the fact that all the decorations are completely different and clearly from a different era. But I spent probably 3 months there, maybe 4 months, like just hopping from Airbnb to Airbnb, doing like long-term rentals. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was so much fun. Like I would get full houses or full apartments wherever I went, and I would have like this 3-bedroom house, 4-bedroom house. Sometimes it was an older house that was like, it was kind of cool to see the way that like a nice pimped out house was in 95. It's like, oh, look, the thermostat's here. Oh, look, there's a hi-fi controller on the wall over here. like all sorts of silly shit like that. Like the sunken living rooms that you would see like,
that
like in
70s
the 80s.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No,
70s even.
Let's go for
like
Mad
stuff
Men.
like that. Or I loved that period of time because I was just traveling from one place to another, packing everything up, and all of the possessions that I had was like, it was like this desk, this monitor, my PC, all my gaming setup, my gear and everything, all the clothes that I had, everything would go in the same cardboard boxes into the back of my pickup truck and onto a new apartment or house or whatever.
Why did you have to move? It seemed like you could have stayed in one of these places longer.
Availability would be one thing, and also like price would change. It was like, oh shit, I can get this house that's just as nice. I was always looking for better internet too. I always wanted to make sure I had stable internet for the show. But I never knew how long. I was also looking for a permanent place, and I never knew when that was going to happen. And then also a thing that would happen would be like, all right, we have an availability of 3 weeks in March, but then in April somebody's coming in, and be like, all right, well, I'll take those 3 weeks and
Find somewhere else.
and I'll find somewhere else for April. So I don't know. I was in at least 3 places, maybe 4, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I loved that shit.
When I lived alone, it was a long time ago since I've lived alone. It was before I got married. But sometimes coming home to an empty place, and it was just a little empty. Like, I don't know if lonely is the right expression, but it just like, oh, there's no one here. There's no joy. It's just me.
No one to creep up on me from behind.
I don't know what that was. The door opened. It could be HVAC or someone just pushed on it.
Could be a ghoul or a goblin.
There's always that chance.
Taylor, what if something came in and it was so fast we couldn't even see what it was? We just saw a spray of blood and his camera turned off.
It zipped through to the little door that scares us all, right?
Then we would have to restart this recording, Kyle.
Shit, I didn't consider that.
Wait, were we supposed to be recording?
Oh, God.
Come to your house. That would be funny. It's like Kyle's like, well, I've got Jackie's number. You think she can recover the file for us?
Good
I don't know if she can recover Woody. That Bagul seemed to have snatched him up. Yeah, so I never got loneliness like that. I always rather enjoyed being alone and like having a place to myself and, you know, just fucking walk around naked and fucking like do what I want. I'm a big boy. I do what I want. Just fucking piss in the sinks. Just not even caring.
Big boys do what they want.
That's right. And then being homesick, like I never got homesick. We'd be on the road and like Scott would start being such a pussy. He's like, I gotta get back to my girlfriend. I gotta get back to my girlfriends. Come on. Find a new one. We're in Florida.
You want to call it a show and test Quibs?
Yep, let's wrap it up.
Test
PKA
Quibs theory.
486. No outros?
Nope.